What's going on, motherfuckers? Welcome to the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast. My name is Knackers, and today is March 2nd, 2021. And this is episode number 138. I did not put 7 on the podcast. And tonight, we have the beautiful, the sexy, the filled with pizza from toes to lips, Technically Alex. How you doing today, dude?
I'm doing quite sexual today, actually. Thank you.
God, you know what? You're one of the first people I saw with clear framed glasses, and I'm like, oh, I think I could pull that off.
Bro, I can see out the sides of my eyes, dude. I bought them. Okay, I'm in the store. I'm talking to the lady selling them to me, which fuck glasses, by the way. They're expensive.
Yes, they are.
But so I'm talking to her. I'm like, yeah, I like the clear frames because I can see out of my periphery better. And it was like, you could see the light bulb. Like, I didn't know that was a pot. Like, I didn't even think about it. I'm like, yeah, I can see out of my peripheral vision. I don't have this fucking dark thing hanging over my face. I look sick. What's not to love?
And so when my girlfriend first got, or when she got her newest pair of glasses recently, she was like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but like, I don't know if they did the lenses right because the ends are warping. I'm looking around and all of the ends are warping. And I'm like, are you sure it's not just because the glasses are clear? And she's like, oh, I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten some really terrible glasses over the years. And like, when you go to like a good place, like one of those like boutique shops where they charge you like $500 per lens, which I was fortunate enough to have someone give me a deal once, you know. It was nice.
Wait, like, are you talking about $1,000 for a pair of glasses?
Yes. I got a deal. It was like half off.
Jesus. Mine were half of your half, and I threw up.
I'm sorry. I mean, these are cheap. These are like, this costs like maybe $250.
Okay.
Insurance, which is still outrageous. But no, when you get really nice glasses, like there's a very clear difference in the quality of the optics they use for the actual glasses.
Right.
And like, because these, like, you know, like how you have, like, when you, like, take a photo and you put it in Lightroom and it's like, you want to fix the chromatic aberration and the, like, barrel distortion of the lens. The same thing is true with actual glasses. Like, they have chromatic aberration, they have color shifts, they got all kinds of problems. And if you get shitty glasses, that's why you hate glasses, because you get crappy lenses that are garbage. And
right.
So go to VisionWorks, get insurance somehow. I don't know who you have to fight to get it. Like, you know, if you got to win a duel to the death, it's worth it. Go to VisionWorks, get the Clear HD. They're almost not terrible.
I don't even think I've heard of that place before, so I'd have to see if they're around. I'm coming up on probably a year and a half, and me not really understanding how glasses work or how glass works. I was using Windex and paper towel to clean them every once in a while.
Come on, bro.
I'm like, hey, man, that one guy from the Greek movie used it. Why can't I use it? And so that ended up being a terrible decision. So ever since then, I've been using my pretty microfiber cloths and cleaning them well. But
good boy.
It's still, the damage was done. The micro scuffs, there's no going back at this point. So I think I'm ready to get a new pair pretty soon.
Yeah, I would recommend it.
How long have you had glasses for?
Since I was a kid, actually.
Okay.
And it's funny, like, people are always like, I hate my glasses. I hate having to wear glasses. I'm like, I would much rather wear glasses than have to touch my eyeball every day to be able to see with friggin' contacts. I don't know how people do it, man.
Yeah, I can't. I have not got into the contact world quite yet. My girlfriend has had glasses since she was like, I think she said she was like 7, maybe a little bit older than that, but she's had them for a long while. And I am actually glad that I had to get glasses, because once I lost my hair and it was nothing but skin and face, and like my facial hair wasn't really growing in so well at that point, I'm like, I need something else. I was on the verge of getting like a Mike Tyson tattoo. I'm like, I need something to take the attention away from my fucking face. Oh my God. But anyways, so the reason I wanted to have you on the podcast, one, your shit cracks me the fuck up. And just that That TikTok that I posted in Nepos Vox Discord the other day of you screaming about the rock music, I kid you not, I watched that probably 5 or 6 times over.
Nice.
Not only that, I appreciate your dedication to the craft. I grew up in photography. I didn't quite get into videography until I would say like the past couple of years. So having photography in common, knowing how knowledgeable you were, I think it was your OBS recording tutorial that you put on YouTube that was like, oh, okay, this guy fucks. He knows what's going on.
Oh, I fuck already. My wife's pregnant, dude.
I'm sorry.
Fuck you. I'm leaving.
No, that's awesome. Congratulations. But no, I was like, you know what? This sounds like a guy who fucks that also needs to come on the podcast and have some fun. So please take a little bit of time. Tell me and the people listening who you are, what you're about, how you fuck. Just give us like a mild summary of who you are as a person.
I can tell you everything except how I fuck because that's a fucking trade secret.
Okay, fair. That's fair.
All right. No, so my name's Alex, if you guys haven't figured that out already. And I guess was at this point a commercial freelance photographer and video production person. So for basically since I was like 17 and I'm 33 now, for that entire time basically until last year, I was doing like part-time work at like a music venue or like a UPS store and freelance photography. And eventually doing a 9-to-5 job got to the point where I mentally couldn't do it anymore, which I know is an incredibly privileged thing to say, but I ended up getting fired from working at the UPS store because I couldn't function. Like I was like a zombie. And it was like
you couldn't function doing a 9-to-5 and you're freelancing, or just being a 9-to-5.
It was like all of the above. It was like the group. Like part of me realized like it is such an extreme waste of time for people, like everyone. This applies to everyone to have to sit in one place for 8 hours a day doing nothing, like filling out orders. And like, listen, I respect the shit out of everyone in the retail industry, but like everyone in the retail industry should be able to afford to go to college, get a really good job doing something they love. Like there shouldn't have to be cashiers. Society should be in a position where we can just be like, hey, do you want to be like a lawyer or like a car mechanic or like an artisan? Here's 50 grand. Just go to any college you want and boom, you're good. And so I got fired. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me because it basically forced me to just go full in on being a creative professional. And so I did freelance photography and videography. And the whole thing is like my dad is he's a freelance commercial photographer. And I was basically following in his footsteps. I worked for him a little. I worked for myself a lot. And over the years, I got like a shelf of cameras. I'm sure we'll talk about that later. But like, I did it professionally. Like I know a lot of people when they say I'm a photographer, like they take some pics, they post on Instagram, maybe they take some photos of models, whatever. I put together jobs and I get paid for them, or I used to before I started doing video editing. So like I have like the real like outsider to YouTube and Twitch stuff experience with the commercial industry.
Gotcha. But
then I also did a lot of commercial video work as like a DP, second unit director, first unit director, camera operator. I did like grip, gaffer, like all of the jobs that you would do on a set. So I have a lot of experience with like this sort of stuff, like making video content outside of YouTube, but also the whole time that YouTube has been a thing, I've been making content on YouTube in some capacity. I've deleted channels. I've started new ones. And the current ones that I have now are like, they're old. Like I've had them since like forever.
Right.
And so I've been doing that for a long time. And I guess the elevator cliff notes version of this is that I was a freelance professional and now I make YouTube videos for a living. They're not my videos. I'm a video editor, producer, and writer for another channel. And we've been working together for a really long time. And last year, because of the pandemic, and me not wanting to photograph weddings anymore because I was transitioning from commercial to wedding to like start a wedding business, and so eventually I could retire at some point in my fucking life.
Right. At some point.
Yeah, and like, but weddings just weren't it, man. So the guy I work for was like, "Hey, do you want to work full time?" And I was like, "Yes."
Yes,
So, and then
please
the
God.
pandemic happened, and it was like perfect timing. So I got lucky basically, and so now I'm a full time video editor, and it's that's my life, I guess. I
All
don't know.
right, sweet. So even more similarities there. My dad also grew up a freelance photographer. He has been doing it professionally since before I was born.
Same.
So yeah, right. You're only 3 years older than me, or you mean your dad?
Both. I don't know. No,
Yeah,
my dad. Yeah. No,
okay.
my dad's been doing it for forever, and he's gonna be 90 and still shooting. I swear to God.
Yeah, my dad definitely he transitioned over to video. So he started. I don't know what he did before I had a brain, before it got wrinkles, but when growing up, he was in the automotive industry. So he was downtown working for the big three, shooting the auto show and just doing cars and stuff like that. And then when automobiles and that whole market crashed in
Oof. Yeah.
2000 and that was when I was in high school. So like anywhere in between 2000,
2007.
yeah, anywhere in between like 2005, 2007, that totally went down. And then he was also shooting really expensive glass. So there was a huge blown glass like market down here in Detroit. Like a lot of people who do all that sort of glass art. And he would like people would drop off like that Pelican case that you had. People would
Yeah.
drop off Pelican cases like 50 times the size, and he would pull these glass sculptures like out and then set them up and shoot them.
Nice.
That tanked as well. And then he got into food photography, and I actually assisted my dad for a little while, just doing that kind of stuff too. So I never got into the photography stuff professionally. I always did it as a hobby. Like I took classes through school, always shot as a hobby, would go and shoot shows all the time just for fun. But it wasn't until I got into graphic design school where I realized like, okay, art does not equal money for me. Like me going out and creating
Yeah.
something and getting paid for it is not going to work for me. And so my dad at a certain point as well was like, no more weddings. He's like, if I want to live past fucking 45,
Yeah.
no more weddings at all.
No, weddings are very tough. And it's funny, like growing up, I didn't get to hang out with my dad a lot until I was 13 because my mom won custody of me, which is, that's a rabbit hole in itself. But basically from the time I was 13 on, like I feel like a part of me has always been in my dad's shadow, but in like a good way. And that he's been a really positive influence on me creatively and professionally, and that he's really hardworking. He will bend over backwards for people if they need it. Like he's just like he's a consummate professional in his craft, but he's also a really talented photographer. And like one day I was in college, and he was like, man, I wish someone had told me like I think I was assisting him on a job, and it was like for a doctor. And the doctor was like, yeah, I just bought a yacht because that's what you do when you like have a practice and you're successful.
Yeah.
And my dad just turns to me and goes, we're in the wrong fucking profession. and and like ever since then, like I have definitely part of me has been like, trying to make money doing art is like really painful because very few people appreciate the value of art.
Yes.
And now like NFTs, like the non-fungible token digital art thing is happening.
Yeah.
It's
What
like,
do you think
holy
about
fuck. Dude, everyone keeps saying, here's my NFT. And I'm like, how the fuck do I sell my art, dude? Tell me. Show me where I sign up. I will listen. You want the copyright to my shit? I'll give it to you. I don't give a fuck. Like, so I think it's when you go to a profession like a lawyer, a doctor, a teacher, maybe not a teacher in America, but when you go to those kinds of professions, it's like it gives you the ability to like have a lucrative career, but also you can afford to buy camera gear and like shoot whatever the hell you want on the weekends.
Yep.
And the thing with photography is like the reason I have so many cameras and headphones and lenses on video cameras and all this shit is because I spent 12, 15 years doing this professionally. And so I needed to buy all of this shit for myself. And it's like, it gives me a benefit. The benefit is I have it all when I want to stream or make videos. But the downside is I spent all of my money for the past 15 years, like buying lenses and shit. And so like I had no savings until last year.
Yep.
You know, it was I was on the struggle bus for a long time. And so I totally get like why you would want to pursue art, but then realize this sucks and get a real job.
Dude, I was in my third year. Like I was a half, probably I think it was a half semester because I wasn't doing full semesters, but I was a half semester away from a degree in graphic design. And I was like, this is not for me. Like I was an artist. Like I drew and designed all through high school. And then I got into photography and I just loved those different aspects of expressing myself. And then you just hit that point where like, okay, is this really what you want? Like your everyday to be, your all day, every day? Is this what you want to drain you? Like, and that's what I had to think about is like, when I come home, do I want to fight my day job and like my energy drain to do the thing that I would love to do? Or do I want the thing that I love to drain me and then have to find something else to fill that time? And that's kind of where I'm at with streaming too. Like to me, I don't necessarily think streaming for me personally is an art. I think it is a creative outlet, but I don't think anything that I do is like artistic. Nothing I really do is all that original. I'm original. My personality is original, but the things that I create, the type of content, the genre of content is all nothing really new. And so I kind of find that as like a middle ground to where I can have a day job that I enjoy very much. It's in a field that I enjoy, and right now it's draining the fuck out of me. But I'm able to come home and create here and create in this space. And honestly, fuck brand safety and family, like being family friendly. If this is the only place that I can truly be me, I'm gonna do it all out. And thankfully, like, I can drop F-bombs in meetings, and like my boss called me, instead of calling me a smartass, he called me an unintelligent anus, which I thought was a fucking amazing different way to call somebody a smartass. I have that type of relationship with people that I work with, and that is just like, that is so comforting for me. And also they take COVID seriously, which I know is not a normal thing for people that I've talked to.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, as someone that's been doing this stuff for a long time outside of like, I would call Twitch and YouTube and stuff like the amateur side. Not that people that do this are amateurs. Like, there are very consummate professionals that do Twitch and YouTube content. Like, it's not to shit on them. You know, to distinguish, like, you got the commercial and you got the creator.
Yep.
And I think in the creator space is where a lot of the really interesting, innovative stuff that pushes the art and technology behind this stuff to the next level. And, you know, there's like this big debate, like, does gear matter, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We'll talk about that later, I guess. But like, when it comes to creating Twitch content like this, you're definitely making art. It's performance art in a way. And I think a lot of people, the problem they have with streaming, and the reason they aren't successful at streaming is, like you said, like, they can't find a way to express themselves creatively on the platform that's also interesting to other people. Like, the biggest problem with like TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, whatever, is that when people are scrolling, they want to be entertained, and it's a bonus if you can add value to their life, right? And I think if you can make people laugh, if you can be entertaining, and you can do it without compromising yourself, you can do it for a really long time, and you can do it successfully. And like your streams, like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't watch a lot of Twitch anymore. Like, I used to be into Twitch, and I watched like Lethal Frag and KB Mod back when they were a thing. Like, I watched a lot of stuff, and over the years, like, I've come to realize that the streams I really prefer are like Future Man or Dr. Disrespect or your streams, because they're produced. Like, there is a level of production value where it's like every minute of the stream, something entertaining and fun is happening. And
that makes me so happy to hear.
Because, no, like Pickle Nick, bro, I don't sit and watch Twitch streams for like an hour at a time unless they're really fucking good streams. And that, oh my God, dude, the prop hunt, part of me was like, I got to show these motherfuckers how to play Call of Duty because you're driving me insane. But the other part of me was like, Pickle Nick is the greatest innovation to happen to Twitch in like years. Like, and I think that's where like Twitch and YouTube, that is where this content is heading. It is heading towards that more commercial, more produced, more entertaining vibe. And I think folks like you are in a really good position to maintain their authenticity and creativity while pushing the boundaries of Twitch closer and closer to the production values of the commercial industry. And that's mainly where I came from. So for me, it's always seemed like Twitch streamers were working, towards something. And I feel like a lot of Twitch viewers and folks feel like they're kind of just like making cool stuff and like whatever. But they don't realize like this whole obsession with like, can I get a 4K camera? Can I stream at a higher bit rate? Whatever is like really what it's about is being able to create art at a higher and higher, more commercial level than they have before. Yep. And that's why like stream tips on TikTok and stuff is taking off so much for you. And like Epos Fox and Harris Heller, it's because more and more people are starting to wake up to the realization that like, dude, I could up my game and like be really successful doing this. You probably won't. Most people are going to fail doing anything that isn't just a 9-to-5 job. And that's because society's not set up to support you and me. Like you don't have health insurance through Twitch. You got it through your job if you even have it at all. And it's like, imagine if Twitch had a benefits package, dude.
Oh, damn.
Like, imagine if like Twitch had a salary. Like that was the big thing with Mixer. And while I was a huge fan of Mixer, and you can talk shit about the UI and the platform and the streamers leaving, whatever. Mixer paid people up front. They were like the Epic Games of streaming. And I have tons of problems with Epic Games. Like they are a scumbag company that is a profiteering pile of shit. But they paid the developers up front. And Mixer was doing the same thing. And I was like, finally, someone had the brilliant idea of instead of making a slave away for every bit and sub and view, like just fucking pay people so that they're not as stressed and they can make better content and have more freedom. Like all of the best videos and content on YouTube is like sponsored, and it's because you need money to like go to locations and film stuff and pay people and edit, and it takes time and money, blah blah blah. So it's like I really feel like you are making art. It's just that the art you're making looks very similar to a well-produced video game or podcast stream, and it's like the line is blurring between the two.
It is. It definitely is. You just brought up a great point. I'm writing this stuff down because I want to forget to talk about it. Minimum full time. So one thing that you just brought up, first of all, thank you for the compliments. And what you just complimented me on is one of the main reasons that I'm trying to steer my content into a different direction, because I want to get I'm more produced, planned, scripted stuff, the stuff that brings value, like the thing that makes people go, I'm here because I like the streamer, but also I'm here because I'm fucking learning something. And the conversations that I'm listening to people have like this are actually meaningful. And I don't want to ever shit on gaming, but for me, when I'm streaming video games, everything in life is on pause. I'm not learning, I'm not I'm not providing anything of value educational wise. I might be making people laugh, and that is massive in itself. But I feel like when I'm gaming, it's just like nothing is, and when you're live, fucking nothing is happening because you're not able to do anything on other platforms. And that kind of like, that's worn on me over the years, and it's like I'm ready to kind of shift it towards a different type of art. Like I've already done and tried the comedic gaming and the skits and using Bozo and stuff like that. It's like, and it's great and it's fun and I love it and I've always got good reception, but I've always gotten a better reception when I've put my time and my efforts and my expertise into like planned scripted content. Things like conversations like this, the podcast used to just be, I'm just going to invite people on and we're just going to talk and that's it. And I still really love that. But at the same time, if we can talk, but also have like a certain purpose of conversation, like for us, it's going to be like TikTok, technology, streaming industry, stuff like that. If I can find a way to kind of hone in on specific subjects, I feel like I could make a really valuable show that will make people want to tune in past it just being me, right? Because your personality can get you far, but it can only get some people so far, and you're gonna have to make up for it on the end part of it, in case you're lacking in those.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why Hot Ones was so successful, like out of the gate, because I forget, Sean Evans is a master interviewer. Mm-hmm. Like when he asks a question, he's not just asking some random factoid bullshit. He's asking a well-researched, informed question that, in a comfortable setting, despite the fact that they're eating flaming hot wings, where like it's a personal answer that he was looking for, and it's entertaining because like when you watch an interview on like the late night shows, or like, you know, when they do like the press junkets or whatever, you watch an interview and you know you're hearing a script, right? You know, the actor or whoever, the musician that the host is talking to is just like, okay, so he's going to ask you about these 5 topics. We prepared this thing for you. We can talk about the trailer, maybe drop a hint at some bullshit, blah, blah, blah. You know, like when Tom Holland leaks the title of Spider-Man accidentally, it's because it's like, he's like, wouldn't it be cool if like Peter Parker was like played by this guy and he's kind of like Peter Parker in real life? Like, fuck Tom Holland, dude. But so, you know, and it's like when you're genuine and you can impart some sort of entertainment value to people while also being like, hey, here's some insight into why Jamie Foxx is such a fucking amazing actor. Like,
he is also an amazing interviewee. Like, all of his interviews are fucking amazing.
Yeah, and it's the same though. Like Bill Burr is a perfect example, right? The guy, he is a genius comedian. And it's really, he's just some fucking guy from Boston. It's like, what the fuck is this shit, you know? And like he leans into that shtick super hard, but like, I forget if he was on Hot Ones or not, but I'm pretty sure he was because I remember him being on it. But it was like, even that guy, Sean Evans, is cracking the armor and being like, so what's the real Bill Burr like under the asshole? And Bill Burr's like, you know, man, life sucks.
Yeah, life fucking sucks.
Yeah. And like, I think there is a limit to the reach you can have making content about making content. And that is, it is a pitfall that all of my friends have fallen into. Everyone falls into it because, you know, they're like, oh, dude, what if like when you stream, you did this technical thing and it made your stream better? I should tell people about that. They do it. And everyone's like, holy shit, that's a great idea. And it gets a lot of views. But then you start to realize not everyone wants to be a streamer. A lot of people just want to watch the stream.
Yes.
And so like I think that's why it's important to like take your expertise and your interview skills and your production value and apply it to other things too. And like I think it's great that you're getting away from gaming because it gives you more time to expand. Like you could talk about politics, you could talk about food, you could talk about traveling, you could talk about like 3D printing, dicks, like whatever you want. And it's like if you're good at talking about streaming and telling people how to stream better, you're going to be good at talking about anything else you understand. And like, you know, like it's interesting to me that people are slowly starting to realize that like gaming is like a time suck because I game every night. I stream Monday through Thursday on YouTube. Check me out, Technical Gaming on YouTube. Man.
Shit! You know what? When I clicked on your profile in Discord, I had looked and I'm like, oh, there's multiple channels. And now I can't see them because go ahead and post it in chat if you want to post I already have your Twitter and your primary YouTube channel.
Just follow me on Twitter. Twitter's the best way to find anything because I literally post everything on Twitter. Okay. But so like, I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting problem to solve with gaming because you're right. It's like totally you're trying to entertain yourself with games and you're trying to translate that entertainment to the viewer. You know, and you want to play the games well, and it can be really stressful. But at the end of the day, what you're really doing is like engaging with a form of entertainment and trying to like share that value with people or share that experience. And like, I think, you know, I like watching gaming streams, but most times like gaming streams are just like someone playing poorly or like not having amazing moments. And like, I think that's why Dr. Disrespect has been so successful is because, for a lot of his streams, they're very high energy, lots of action, lots of things going on, and he supplements and augments all of the dead air with just incredibly intelligent production value and character acting. And like Future Man, when Future Man first started streaming, I was like, this is the future of Twitch. Yeah, like everyone is going to be doing this like a character with like set design and like the intro stuff and all that. And I was totally fucking right. You're welcome.
Yep.
And it like what blows me away is people like Ninja and Shroud who are still popular because it's like, dude, like they're just some guy with like bad lighting and a webcam. That's like so 2012 streaming.
Yeah.
It's like wow. I didn't think that would still be viable. So it's very impressive how diverse Twitch is, but like, yeah, I mean, fuck gaming, dude. I love gaming, but fuck it.
Yeah, no,
what makes you happy?
I love it too. And what has been a nice release, and actually, I had been thinking this for a while, like inside my mind. And on the last podcast that I did with Bishop and Jimmy, Bishop made a note to me that he's like, I kind of do the same thing that he does. Like when I get into gaming, when it's Call of Duty or Rocket League, there's 5 to 7 minute stints of me focusing on the game purely. And when I'm doing that, I'm not looking at chat. I'm not reacting to chat. I'm not coming up with comedic replies or skits or anything like that. Excuse me. And I'm kind of, it's all, I use this phrase. There are streamers and then there are people who stream. There are streamers people who genuinely create original, unique content for the platform and are actively trying to grow. And then there are people who stream, people who are playing video games and just hit live, and they just happen to be live at the same time. And I feel like when I play video games, sometimes I'm just somebody who streams. Where kind of like my originality, my voice, my persona kind of falls into the background, and where the gaming becomes like the forefront of it. And I feel like when I transition from a just chatting stream into a gaming stream, I become more like everybody else. Like I become less original, where in this sort of scenery, I feel like I'm a little bit more in my element. And that definitely wasn't always the case. Like the early days of this podcast were fucking terrible. They were so bad. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was a terrible streamer. I was a terrible host. But
you're
now
so bad. You're so bad. What are you doing? You're so bad. Stop.
So it's been fun to kind of come up into those changes. And you're right. Twitch is an absolutely diverse platform right now, and I wonder. Twitch has already gotten away from gaming being the primary thing. Like if you look at look at the stats, there's shit all over the place, and it's exciting. And as much as I'm excited to kind of go into a new path, I'm also still kind of sad about it because like growing up, and when I say growing up, I mean like my mid-20s, looking at people who were successful video game streamers, and you're like, yes, that's not necessarily the dream, but like that's a goal. It's to like be able to play video games. I have not wanted to be a full-time content creator for so long, but to be able to just have like that level of success, it was like, yeah, that would be fucking awesome. And it's sad to know that like that isn't a thing, but I'm sure that the realization of that will quickly be overwritten by my fuel for trying to create like a different type of content.
Totally. I mean, that is what I think distinguishes people from you got the folks that, like you said, that are streamers and the folks that stream. And the thing that distinguishes the two is that one group realizes you got to do more than just be live, and you got to push yourself and be original. And like the biggest thing for me in the creative industry is that so many of like the jobs that I would do would be, this is really popular right now, like this style of photography or, this thing. Like we showed the client this stock image as an example of what we want to do for the ad, and they really liked it. So just copy the stock image with, new models and obviously a different photographer because I'm doing it. And so
find the same photographer that took this and bring him in.
No, and a lot of times it makes you feel like you're a human Xerox machine. I did a lot of product stuff, and that's what it feels like. It feels like you're just a photocopy machine with legs. And every job I would do, and this is something my dad does, and I think every creative professional should do, and it's exactly what streamers should be doing, is do something different. When you're shooting or you're streaming, whatever, do something that like it's just what you want to do. Like I have fuck it moments with online shopping and creativity. I'll be browsing Amazon. I'll see something I like that catches my fancy. And I'm like, you know what? I have money in my bank account. I'm not sure how much, but fuck it. I'll buy it anyway. And I'm the same way with photography. I'll be doing a job. I'll be shooting whatever. And I'll be like, it'd be really cool if like this was just a really nice silhouette portrait of this person instead of like this beautiful bullshit, Instagram looking thing. And I'll submit those images to the client. I'll be like, here's all the stuff you asked for. Here's all the stuff I did. And then here's a bunch of extra stuff because I'm nice. And 9 times out of 10, either the ad agency or client or whatever will be like, I fucking love the thing you just did on your own. I love the candid shot, whatever. And not every time do they get picked. Like a lot of times, like when you get hired for a job, it's all based on your portfolio. And it's the same thing with Twitch. When you get a Twitch viewer, it's all based on that like first impression, your portfolio, your presentation, your 5-second pitch. And you get hired on that, and then the client knows what you're capable of, and then they hire you to do like a job that they think will fit. And then you deliver something that's like, this is what I'm really capable of. They always love it. It doesn't always get used, but it's like the same thing with Twitch. It's like, if someone's scrolling through Twitch and they see Ninja, Shroud, fucking name another streamer, Destiny, fuck that guy, Miskiff, whatever, Michael Reeves. They're going to pick the streamer that like gives them the best 5-second pitch when they click. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times what that means is the streamer is doing something that no one else is doing. And like, I think Future Man is a perfect example because he had GIFs of a space ship as his set. And it was like, oh, you can actually use virtual production as set design.
Yeah.
Duh. Why? Like, and Sushi Dragon.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Listen, if you're not following Sushi Dragon, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
How do I go back? Sorry. I haven't used my Stream Deck in a long time. But his level of production value is what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Like that guy, he bought a fucking warehouse and he's turning it into like a live streaming sex factory. And I threw sex in there because I knew that's going to excite the viewers.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to happen. Somebody's going to get fucked in there, and they're going to get fucked by that robot that follows it around with the camera and the iPad.
Do you want to have sex? I will film it.
What is so intriguing about that whole thing is the process of him building the warehouse is just as fucking interesting as
dude, it's amazing.
The warehouse itself. Did you see the clip of him judo kicking a water bottle in the air and then the robot going crazy afterwards?
Yeah.
I lost my shit at that. That was so goddamn funny. But just him in general, amazing fucking guy. I love the show that he puts on. I was really scared when the DMCA shit hit and decimated his primary source of income. Like his content was dancing over copyrighted music. And again, another thing that is going to completely separate the doers from the don'ters is he was able to completely flip his type of content, retain almost all of his viewership, and he's on a totally different path now that is completely free from DMCA. So I remember sitting and thinking, like, what the fuck is he going to do now? And he thought of it. I couldn't, but he thought of it. And that, again, is going to be something that is going to be really, really difficult for some people to get past.
I think the cool thing about the DMCA situation is that as someone that has defended their work from people trying to steal it with copyright law, I have had to fight people. I've had to issue cease and desist letters, and I've never had to go to court, thankfully. But I've had to go on Google and be like, copyright cease and desist notice and fill it out and send it to people. And I used to be on Tumblr, and Tumblr, for those of you that don't know, is a microblogging website. And what that means is people steal your shit and post it on their blog, and their blogs are monetized and they get money for your shit. And while everything's kind of linked together, I would get zero traction or hits or anything from having my work reblogged. So in a lot of ways, I was missing out on like a ton of money because some blog with like 1 million followers would reshare my image to it. and they'd have like Google ads or something on the side, and they're making bank. And so I had to leave Tumblr because I literally couldn't issue enough cease and desists. Like I would have had to hire someone to just like go on Tumblr and like find every instance of my image, because I was posting years ago. I did like what People does, and I posted an image every day for a year. And every day there would be like 10 copies of my image on Tumblr. And it's not like popular blogs or anything most of the time, but like when it is, it's a problem. But so I understand like that copyright law is really important. And I know people that don't understand copyright law or have heard bad explanations think it's like this draconian evil thing. But really, it's what makes all of this stuff that we do on Twitch and YouTube and Twitter and TikTok possible. It's like it is the fence that separates insanity from being able to make a living.
Right.
Because without copyright law, you and I, we wouldn't be able to do this, because someone could just take it, monetize it, and say, this is mine, and they would make the money, and you'd have no recourse. You'd have no protection. And so I'm really glad the Twitch DMCA thing happened, because I think it's opened up a huge segment of the creator industry to the reality of copyright and like how they can use it to their advantage. And, you know, I will openly say that I am not a huge fan of Stream Beats' music. I think it's very generic. I don't think it's any better than like what Monster Cat offers or anything. But Harris Heller was smart, and he was like, eventually Twitch is going to start DMCAing people like that. It's just going to happen because that's how the system works. People use your content without your permission. You don't like that, and you tell them you got to get permission, and that's what happened with Twitch. And it's totally normal. It was bound to happen. Twitch is the one that fucked up. Honestly,
so hard.
They fucked up real fucking bad. But so he created Stream Beats to obviously make money. And I have a lot of problems with Harris. I think he had a lot of money to throw at a project like Stream Beats, and that is why he has so much content, and that's why it's a big part of why that library is so successful, is because he launched with like 300 tracks or something, which is like a lot. But despite all my problems with him, like Stream Beats fills a need that we desperately need filled.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the numbers speak for itself. I mean, when he went over he had a YouTube video that he just went over like how much money I make, and he went over in detail how many plays Stream Beats was getting, the recurring revenue, and it wasn't until actually this past month where he revealed how much he actually spent on Stream Beats in the beginning. I think it was 45 grand, 45 to 50 grand,
45 or 50 grand, and like that video really frustrates me because I am personally aware of. And I'm not going to reveal anything just yet because it's too soon. I'm personally aware of other folks doing the same thing, like creating a music service for different genres and, you know, with different tracks and stuff. And I have a feeling it's going to be really good because the stuff I'm hearing from them it's exactly what the people that want that kind of music are looking for and not getting anywhere. And so the thing is, they don't have, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars to pour into it. Like they're doing it by themselves. You know, they're hosting stuff on Spotify. You know, they don't have a huge investment. And Harris in that video was like, you can do it with $50,000, which is true. You can if you got extra, if you have a safety net of cash that you can throw at a project, you can do anything.
Yeah.
But the great thing about Twitch and YouTube and this democracy we have created of content creation online is that any motherfucker can do it now.
Yep.
You don't need like I'm using an A6000. This camera is a piece of shit. I have a newer lens. I have like Canon L glass. I've got Fuji like first party glass. I have really nice lenses and stuff. I'm using the shittiest possible camera I could find on eBay that was good enough to work as this thing.
Yeah.
It's got a beauty mode I can't turn off, so I know I look amazing, but
wait,
I want it off.
You can't turn it off?
No. You have to record internally for it to not beautify your face. It's so dumb. But like, is there a problem with the stream you guys are watching right now? I don't think so. I think I look fine. And it's like, I don't have 50 grand to spend on a production system for my, you know, Twitch streams.
Right.
And at the same time, you don't need 50 grand. If you know how to use GarageBand and make cool beats, you can start your own music royalty free service. Like, and that's why I'm a big fan of the whole NFT thing, because I think it's ridiculous. Like, the idea of digital ownership is just whatever. Yeah, that's real. But I went in, and I think more and more people are realizing, like, this is real. I can do this. I can make money.
Yeah.
I can offer a service. I could provide value. And yeah.
So I want to ask a question. I'm not trying to I don't want to get you to like talk shit or and I definitely don't want to start like a flame thing. But doesn't the heart, like, where that money came from is questionable, right? Not questionable in like in the moral of it, but like whether it came from YouTube or Twitch or it was savings, whatever.
I think he's talked about it. Like, he's had a successful career outside of doing all this stuff, right, and doing this stuff. And like, to be absolutely clear, like, I have absolutely no problem whatsoever with someone having money and throwing it at a project. I think I am glad he did it, because it has opened the doors to other people who want to do the same thing.
Right.
It made them realize, oh, if this fucking guy can do it, I can do it. You know,
so,
like, if
your problem was the premise that all it takes is $50,000 to do something like this.
Yeah,
not where the money came. Okay.
Yeah, no, I have no problem. I mean, I have no problem with that stuff. And it's like, it's because the beauty of Twitch and YouTube and Twitter and social media and stuff is that, like, you don't need $50,000, dude. Like, these websites, like, YouTube will host 8K video for free. You can upload a movie that is like cinema quality to YouTube for free and send it to billions of people for free. No one might watch it, but like, where I come from, if you had $50,000, that was enough for like 30 seconds of commercial time for like a cheap commercial.
Right.
Like, I once priced out a job. It was probably the most expensive job I ever priced out before, for photography, not for video. Video is a whole different thing. It was going to be about $33,000. It was a one-day shoot in an Xfinity store with talent, like models from like theater production. So like not even like a model agency. Like I'm talking like the extras that they use in movies type of people.
Okay.
And the vast majority of that money was like on the people. And like, so when I come to Twitch or YouTube content, I'm like, you don't need any money for this. Spending $10,000 on like a whole camera setup and stuff is like totally something that, like, I think if you're serious about this, you're eventually gonna end up doing, even though you really fucking shouldn't. Just stream with it doesn't matter.
Yep.
I'm literally working on a video about why people should just take the phones that they throw away after 3 years and use them as webcams, but
yeah.
That's a whole other thing. But like, I think the point is Harris really opened the door for people to realize that anyone could do this. And the problem is when he opened the door, he also let out a hot fart that kind of makes people like pause at the door, because they're like, wait a second. He said he used $50,000 to do this. Do I need $50,000 too? But then, you know, the fart goes away and everyone realizes they can just walk right the fuck through. So yeah, it's not a big deal.
Just hold your breath and walk through.
Yeah, it's fine.
There is a video that I would like to do, or a conversation I'd like to do about the whole gear doesn't matter. It was a very interesting conversation to watch unfold. And my very short stance is gear matters, but it depends. And it's to the point where, do you need gear to get started? No. But do you need gear to do a specific type of niche content? Like, is there a certain lens that you need for a specific shot? Do you need a second computer to offload the encoding to do a particular scene that you want? Like, yes, there's certain hardware requirements, but for the base stuff, absolutely no, you don't. You don't need to. So that's a super interesting conversation, and just based on what we've already gotten into, I don't want to dig into that tonight. But
it's a deep one.
It is a deep one, because I'm somebody that who. Let me slow down. I am somebody who has always chased gear, but not because I've always been after the quality of the foe of how it looks. Because I fucking love gear. I love tech. Yeah. I love gadgets.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I love fucking around with shit. And so that's always been a big plus for me. And what I've realized is, even with somebody who, like, I'm told that I have a good personality, meaning like I'm personable.
So you're ugly is what they're saying.
Right? Pretty much like I'm dead inside. It's pretty much what people are telling me. I'm approachable. I can have conversations. But again, like I always thought like, okay, well, I have that, but I also kind of need the quality stuff to like get myself to the next tier. And again, like stuff that I've gone over in different videos is like I've had lamps from Target with broken Philips Hue bulbs with paper taped over for diffusers. I used those for like 5 fucking years. Different shit to prop stuff up over the desk. I hate that we have this like Reddit battle stations persona of everyone where like everybody needs to have like LED everything. First of all, I hate how much everyone hates RGB because I fucking love things that glow, and I'm never gonna not love things that glow. But yeah, it's the whole gear conversation is difficult. I want to swing back a little bit to the TikTok conversation. What is the most random thing that you've seen that should not be content, but you were like, this is fucking amazing?
Oh, dude, I'm so glad you asked this question. Okay. So the other night I've been on TikTok via proxy of my wife for like 2 months. Okay. She got into TikTok, and like at night we would just like sit in bed and she would just scroll on her page. And most of the content is just like person twerking to song, someone funny that I actually like, some weird guy that looks like a serial killer talking about Trump being an asshole in the news.
Prison.
Then someone then it's like like an ad for like a gel butt lifter or something, and it's like it was like garbage, right? Like we would scroll and I would just be like, this fucking sucks. Like TikTok is just an ad platform for crappy music. And then because of work I had to get TikTok for myself, so I have the work account, I have my personal account. And the other night I was scrolling on TikTok, and it was just like all of a sudden it's like TikTok realized who the fuck I was.
Curation.
Dude, they started showing me content. I can't put it into words how good TikTok is at content curation, but like it was farts. It's this woman farts so fucking hard, dude. It's amazing. And she basically recorded like 30 clips of herself farting in front of her husband and getting the husband's reaction. And like I stopped, I watched the video and I was dying. I had tears streaming down my face, and I'm like, this shouldn't, like, my wife didn't get it. I was like, this is so fucking funny. And then my TikTok, ever since that, it's just been like some kid on the toilet being like, I gotta drop this long. That's a medium. Fuck, I need it. Oh, not as short. I want the long. And it's like, he's talking about the length of his poop, but I'm like, this like toddler on TikTok is funnier than like every motherfucker, and like the stupid fucking dancing shit, and the like, here's the hip song that we're paying people to promote this week thing is like, it's so mind numbing. And it's like, that's the kind of content that I don't understand how it does well. Mm-hmm. But like at the same time, I totally appreciate the fact that farting in front of your husband, while funny, is not like, it's a joke. And when you scroll it a few times, it stops being funny, except it doesn't.
Yeah. I'm also very sad because I currently have 40 recorded farts sitting on my phone that I was going to make a TikTok of, and now it's been done, and now I'm sad.
No, do it. Do it. There's plenty. Listen, you can never have enough TikTok farts. I'm telling you, it's gold. Like the funniest one is like when animals fart and then they like scare themselves, because my dog does that all the time, so I can relate.
Just yesterday, going through the FYP, or the FIP, as I like to call the FIP wall, and I found a little Chinaman who makes teapots from like fucking scratch, like the carving and the molding and the design. It's all super, I hate using this word, but cinematic, like the lighting, the camera and everything. Like the super high production value TikToks. Oh, they make me. I get the undernut.
Hard.
Yeah,
they make you hard.
Oh yeah.
Like so when you were talking about 3D printing before the podcast started, I got erect, and it's not because you're pretty. I'll tell you that much. It's because I am huge into making shit. Like off to the side, there's a dead plant in my frame, which you can see.
Yeah.
That is sitting on a table that is literally covered in keyboard parts and automotive parts and soldering station shit. Like I have an obsession with making my own shit. It's one of the reasons I wrote down on the notes for tonight is a DIY or buy is because like
we had notes.
Fuck notes. We don't need them. We're doing it live. But like I make a lot of my, like I'm working on headphone cables for this pair of headphones for myself.
Yeah.
Like I do all that shit, and it's like I am obsessed with maker content. I love Adam Savage. I watch all of the content on YouTube that I watch is primarily people making or doing stuff like Evan and Caitlin, Scott Brown Carpentry, like these amazing people that are just fucking craftsmen. And it's like one of those things where you watch like Scott Brown renovate a house, and you're like, and you because he does it right. He does all the little details correctly. He does all the construction correctly. He's not a shitbag contractor like you're used to dealing with. So when you go out in real life and you see someone who's doing the same thing, but they do a shitty job, it makes you appreciate the dedication that like real artisans have.
Yes.
And I see a well-produced video on someone making something and I nut instantly. Like that is like nut. And like I came across a blacksmith recently that does he makes stuff like, you know, like knives and lighters and stuff. It's a really cool channel, but he uses these lights I used in college. They're called soft lights, but they're like the company's name is like Mole something, but they're like these old scoop lights that they used to use in Hollywood in like the 50s, 60s and 70s. And they're just these beautifully soft, like warm, inviting lights, and all of his videos are lit with them, and it's just like, because I don't really see like forging titanium, which is like when you heat that shit up and start hitting it, it looks like butter. It's so beautiful, but like
smash it,
dude, smash that metal. But it's like so well filmed, and like Alex Steele, same kind of thing. Like the dude is a master craftsman. Well, Alex Steele's not a master craftsman; he's a really good craftsman. But don't let him catch me talking shit about him. No, I love that guy. But like the production quality, like they bought like an electronic slider for their video guy, and they're doing like the time lapse shots where like the camera starts here and it pans around the work as they're working, and you can like see the progress from multiple angles, and it's like, oh god, I'm fucking jizzing.
There is a gentleman. You know how you get something so often on your For You page that you forget to follow, and then it disappears and you never see it again. You're like, fuck, whatever happened to that content that I used to come across every day? There was a guy who did super high production value CNC machining and time lapses of them, where he would carve like valleys and mountains and all of this stuff. Have I ever shown you? So you know the macro boards that I built for people, right?
Yeah.
Have I ever shown you the guy who cuts the plexi, the custom work that he does for headphones?
You have.
Okay, so that's right, because you were gonna
I know who you're talking about.
Okay.
I haven't seen his headphones. I've seen his keyboards.
Okay, I'm gonna put a link in chat for you. So this is just one of the things that he does. He makes custom covers for the headphone.
That's fucking sick, dude.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So he's done a lot of that work too. And so like I remember when we first got to talking, and actually I just talked to him the other day because he cut me 8 more cases. We're about to build 8 more macro boards in like the next month or so. And he just showed me some of the stuff that he was working on. He also sent me this plexiglass that's like, can't remember what it's called, but it's a plexiglass that is black when it is not lit. And then when it lights up, it changes the tone of it. And I don't know how to explain it, but I'm posting that in chat as well. But it's so fucking sick looking. He built a fight stick of it, and it just looks
so hot.
So fucking cool. Sorry, audio listeners. But yeah, like that, seeing him, he was kind of like the introduction of, I should buy some shit to make my own shit because I feel like I can. And coincidentally, I actually took some 3D modeling classes back in like elementary school, or not elementary, this is middle school. So still a little smooth brain back then, but hopefully I retained some of that information. But so fucking cool. Yesterday I discovered somebody, their name is, oh my God, something to do with cosplay. And they 3D printed a mold to which they then poured resin into, and they
Yeah.
made a block of iridium from Borderlands 3, and then he lit it up with LEDs on the inside, and the resin that he used was light conductive and actually glue in the dark after you turn the lights off. And I think he was doing it for a model that was doing a Borderlands 3 cosplay shoot, and it was just fucking amazing from beginning to end. And it's TikToks like that go, quit, knackers, quit while you're ahead,
And so you're done.
You can't
compete.
Fucking crazy. So
I feel you. Like I fell down the rabbit hole of Winter Garden, the guy making the marble machine on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And basically it's a 10,000 part completely custom designed marble machine musical instrument. It's programmable. It can play a xylophone, a drum kit, and a guitar all at the same time. It's incredible. And it's in pieces right now because he's like basically he needs it to be like reach a certain level of efficiency and reliability so that when he goes on tour with it with his band, like they won't have to constantly stop every show, right? So in doing this, he's discovered that a lot of the parts he designed at the outset of the project are terrible for reliability in the long term. Like if you play 1,000 marbles on it, it'll be fine. But if you play 1,000,000, which is very much going to happen when he's doing a show, 100 marbles might fall out of the machine, and that's like catastrophic because you'll be missing beats and shit. And he's been documenting the process of building this thing for 3 years. And he's I wouldn't say he's on the tail end of it, but he's got at least another year of production on it till it's like ready to go. But like he started uploading daily content in January, and he stopped doing it. He's like making more videos more frequently. Like he used to only post once a week, but he started doing daily content, and I was on the edge of my seat because basically everything he does is like design it in CAD, test it, modify it by hand, redesign it with and it's like this back and forth, and eventually he'll land on like the part, the piece that's going to replace the piece of shit that was there before. And it's like dude, like I want to learn CAD, I want to learn 3D modeling and stuff because I love doing that stuff. And
right.
I'm definitely good at carpentry, like making like furniture and stuff, but like when it comes to sculpting and crafting like complex geometry, like I don't have the patience for it. So I watch his stuff and I'm like, God, that's fucking... It's like you watch his CAD designs and like, listen, he's just like a novice like anyone else, but he's been doing this for 3 years and he's got like a whole Discord of 3D modelers telling him what to do. And he does this shit that's just like, it's organic, but it's CNC machine looking, and it's just like...
Dude, what you just pointed out is one of the most important things for me as somebody who is existing in this online space. Is it about building a community? Yes, but not in the aspect of building a community of people that can watch and support me financially. It's building a community of like-minded people who are fucking hungry, and they also want to learn. And then you've got a balance of like the really, really smart people who don't know how to talk to people, and then you got the other people who are like, they're not so smart, but they have really good conversational skills, and you get them all together in a pot, and you just mix that up. Fucking macaroni in a pot, baby. That's a wet-ass pussy.
I love that vine, dude.
Just getting a collective, an area where a bunch of these different people come through. And like right now, one of my favorite channels in my Discord is the cooking channel, because we have so many people from amateur to well-versed that all post the things that they cook. They post the recipes, they post their fuck-ups, they post the good stuff. And just from being around other people who are hungry, see what I did there? Mm-hmm. You get inspiration from that, just being around other people. And that has always been a main reason that I've streamed on Twitch, because me being here and fucking up is an opportunity to learn from people that know what the fuck that they are talking about. And that has just always been one of my favorite things about creating content online, being involved in online communities, and just having people around that love the same shit that you do. You can learn a lot, you can get inspired, and then you can create some dope shit on the other end too. Yeah,
there's a video on the Tested YouTube channel. and it's about Adam Savage talk. I think it was on a podcast or something that they did. But Adam Savage, the former host of MythBusters, was he was talking about he was like on a panel discussion event thing. Obviously, this is before COVID, but basically it was like him and like two other people, like an author and like a scientist or something, talking about like their life experience and answering questions from the audience. And he said like the thing I took away from that night was I gained an incredible amount of respect for people that know when to shut the fuck up, because he was on a panel with like someone that he considers to be one of the smartest people he's ever met. And someone asked the guy a question and the guy was like, that's kind of outside my base of understanding and I don't feel comfortable answering it. So I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for you. And Adam was like, Adam was like a very well traveled maker and TV host and actor. Like he's like a very worldly guy that has been around and has a fuckload of experience. And he's like, it was really humbling seeing someone that knew, despite the fact that they're a fucking genius and could just come up with some bullshit answer that would probably be correct, that they just like, nope, I don't have an answer. And like, I love it when like in Epos' Discord that I hang out in a lot, Epos Fox, for you guys don't know, it's the stream professor. I hang out in his Discord all the time, and I spend a lot of my time in like the smart folks chats, like the streamer chat, and we have like our own friend group chats that we talk in, and it's not to make the Discord sound elitist. It's very much not. In fact, we just had someone come in that's like, I've been working other Discords that are about streaming and YouTube, and like this Epos' Discord is like way more natural and like authentic feeling than anyone else. And it's like, because like you said, Epos, he's not after attracting the lowest common denominator for views. He wants people that are into the same thing he is. And, he wants to make new friends and talk about the craft and like develop this stuff. And I think the best thing you can do when you're cultivating these kinds of things is just like know where the limits of your knowledge and like encourage people to share the stuff that goes outside that boundary with you. And because that's like the coolest thing. It's like, like you said, you get into cooking and you have a bunch of people being like, hey, I'm a professional chef. Here's how you make sushi. You're like, holy fuck, I can make sushi now thanks to this guy.
Yeah.
And it's just some random asshole on Discord that you like stopped in for like 3 months and then yeeted out for some reason.
Yep.
And I'm totally about it. And I'm sorry, I know my explanations are long as fuck, but I just talk a lot. I'm sorry.
Honestly, I bring people on a podcast so I can talk less. No, dude.
Hear you, dude.
I very much appreciate somebody who's not afraid to just go on a whim, because my community already sees enough of me. My goal for these podcasts is not only to incite great, meaningful conversation, to spark perspective, but it's to give people a look into what you have going on in your life, and to possibly like, holy shit, this guy kind of likes some of the stuff that I do, and to build, a little bit of a relationship that way too is kind of one of my favorite things about the podcast. So don't ever feel like you talk a lot, because
no, I mean, like in my industry, like the worst thing you can do is wear all the hats. Like Robert Rodriguez is famous for it. The guy he did like Sin City, Spy Kids. Like he's an incredible director, but he's one of those guys where like he produces, directs, writes, does the music, does the editing, does a lot of the camera work. Like he does everything on his shoots.
The dude who made Sin City is the dude who made Spy Kids.
Yeah, it's the same fucking guy.
What?
And I'm not even joking, dude. He is like Robert Rodriguez. He wrote this book, Rebel Without a Crew, and it's all about how he produced El Mariachi. And basically, he worked at a video store, like a rental place. And at night, he would like sell his body to science. Like they would pump him with drugs to see what happened. And he funded this movie, and he used like 2 clamp lights from Home Depot to like light it. And like he shot it on 16 millimeter. And he couldn't do audio on set, so he had everything done in post. And it's like, it's a really good read. But so his problem is, and the reason I think a lot of his movies struggle to find an audience, like Spy Kids and stuff, is because he's wearing all the hats and doing all the things. And when you do that, it's like, yeah, Spy Kids, I think, is an incredible franchise for kids. I think they are great movies. Then the new one they dropped on Netflix, it's a clusterfuck of insanity, but it's one of the most creative and entertaining and heartwarming kids movies that have come out on Netflix in a while. But like his problem is like you can tell it's a Robert Rodriguez movie for every movie he does.
Interesting.
And I think like the secret to like Twitch and stuff is hire a producer, get an editor, find a co-host, get a group of friends that are going to be on when you play games, so it's not just you talking into the fucking void. You know what I mean? And it's...
You spot a great point. When we were talking about the art form of streaming and whether it was or wasn't an art, and I was thinking about, when I was thinking about people like Tim the Tatman, Dr. Disrespect, the only thing Tim does is go live. Everything on his other content platforms like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. He mans his own Twitter, but those are all things that are curated for those platforms, but doctored by other people. I'm sure he probably has to say like, this should be a video, this should be a TikTok, put this on Instagram, but his art is the performance in that moment. And then the other 80% of being a streamer, of you getting yourself on other platforms and creating original content for those other things, that's all stuff that can be done after the fact and also not by you. It wasn't until a couple of years ago where I got somebody to help out with the podcast. So like just doing the podcast is anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. The pre-show was a half an hour. The post-show is usually a half an hour. Editing the podcast, creating the thumbnails, uploading it to YouTube, uploading the audio version, balancing the audio version. It can be anywhere from 3 to 5 hours a podcast. Yeah. And I finally have offloaded that onto somebody else, and it's still not enough. And it's like, that's going to be a big part in what separates a lot of the people, because not everybody has the income to fund that sort of venture. And also not everybody has friends that are willing to take a pay cut to go through that as well. And I've been so lucky to have people that have been like, hey man, just like, I'll do what you can as far as payment. And I want to help. I love you. I love your content. And that's something that is only going to come with time. I don't expect anybody to start streaming and then have somebody be like, I'll edit all your YouTube videos for $5 an hour. But it's one of the pros of longevity of streaming. Like there's a lot of things that are really easy for me now here in my 7th year that were impossible the first year, that only exist because I've been around and I've accumulated the experience and I've built relationships. And regardless of what I think anecdotally about my average viewership and my numbers, I've built reputations with people, and those reputations can take you really fucking far. Like those relationships, whether they are profitable or platonic or whatever, they can get you so far, and they can make life so absolutely easy for you down the road. And it's not necessarily that it makes the whole aspect of streaming easy, but it makes certain aspects of streaming easy so that you can focus on the things that require a little bit more attention.
No, totally. Like in the commercial art industry, word of mouth is like how you get work. Mm-hmm. It's how everything happens. You know, you do a job, the client really likes it, you make a relationship with the person at an ad agency, and the next thing you know, like they're like in a meeting and they're like, oh, you know who would be good for this job? That guy that I'm friends with. And it's like the biggest thing with Twitch and like finding editors and stuff, and this extends to everything, right? Like just ask. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not saying like if you start streaming on Twitch tomorrow as a first time streamer that you should in your first stream be like, hey, does anyone want to edit my YouTube videos? That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is build relationships, find people that are like you, that want to do the same things you do, and ask. Be like, hey, listen, I've been streaming for 6 months. I'm really enjoying it. I want to do YouTube content, but I don't have time to edit the videos. Does anyone want to take a stab at it? Maybe I could kick you some money. I don't know. Yep. And it's because the whole point of hiring people, and I'm a huge advocate of, if you have a need or you need someone to add value to your content, just fucking pay them to do it.
Yep.
Like just hire someone. Like I don't care how much it is. Like obviously within reason, if you don't have the money, you don't have the money. But like I could make so much more content if I had an editor. if I had someone to manage my social media, because I wouldn't have to spend my time doing that stuff and dividing it between doing like filming, editing, and then having a real job that requires my attention 8 hours a day.
Right.
And like, you know, granted, I'm sitting in front of my computer for those 8 hours and I'm, you know, online and I'm like, whatever. Like I could like but I can't be like writing a script and also editing a personal video. Like it's not possible for me to do that. And I think there is a point in every streamer's career, and it's harder to appreciate now because especially with TikTok, right? You make one TikTok and it goes viral, and all of a sudden you've got like, you know, that fucking projector light company being like, hey, can we sponsor a post? And like from there, it just, you know, the rise to celebrity on social media is so extremely fast these days. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, like, every personality on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok that gets really successful really quickly, they're popular for like maybe a month, and then you never hear from them again.
Yep.
And they're if you go back and check, they're still doing their thing. You know, they're still making, you know, a paycheck every month, and I'm sure they're still rich, a lot of them, and like still making a ton of money. But like, as soon as like the next person becomes popular, the market grows, and that person's income shrinks a little, and then, you know, it's like a constant stepping stool thing. Mm-hmm. And so it's super important, especially if you're successful at this, which I guess you don't need my advice for. But,
or mine.
Yeah. But like, if you're successful and you're at the point where you're like, if I don't change, I'm going to die. Like, if I don't do something new, my brain of content isn't going to keep growing. Just hire an editor, hire a social media person, pay someone. Like, at one point recently, I was under the gun for work. Like, I just didn't have a ton of time every day to dedicate to a certain duty. So I was like, I had a friend who needed $1, and I was like, hey, I'll hire you to do this. And I'm not paying him the moon, but right. I'm paying him like a decent amount of money to, like, you know, spend 10 minutes every morning doing something for me. And it was great to have like a message every morning in my inbox with the information I needed to do my job better. It was great. And what I'm saying is, like, when you get to that point where there's a thing where you know that the barrier it's right there, and if you hired someone to jump over it for you, you'd both get jumped over. Mm-hmm. It's like when you reach that point, and it doesn't matter if it's Twitch or like doing yard work or like putting together IKEA furniture. Like, if you go on Craigslist, there's literally a category dedicated to people that will build IKEA furniture. It's hilarious.
I did not know that.
I'm not even joking. It's real. But like, there's a reason we have people that do jobs, right? And it's like, just fucking hire someone. Like Tim is fucking terrible at video games. That guy sucks ass. Great.
Yeah.
But he's an incredibly affable and entertaining and personable guy. And when you cut all of his shitty fucking gameplay down, you fucking suck, Tim. When you cut all of his gameplay down to like the bite-sized fun bits, it's viral shit because the guy is hilarious and he's so good at connecting with the audience. And It's like, that's why he's going to keep being successful, is because he's got someone being like, all right, let's cut out the 5 hours of Tim sucking at Fall Guys and show the 10 minutes that's really, and like, this is something like, even if you're just doing this yourself, if you're making a piece of content and part of it is boring, get rid of it. Like, if you take a pause in your sentence, if you say something and you missay it, like you mispronounce a word, just fucking cut it. Get it out of there. Because like, scroll through TikTok or like a lot of, you know, sorry, I hit the mic. So a lot of YouTube content, like, it's like, I don't know if you've ever watched a Guy Fieri show, but someone is talking 100% of the time on Guy Fieri's content.
Or moaning.
And it's, yeah, or yeah, like, oh, totally. But like, there's a reason, because it's entertaining when you don't stop talking or you always are moving the foot, you know. And it's like if you know you can't do that anymore, like you don't have the time to do it. I'm saying that's what's required to be successful in the long term, like being able to condense and cut and make an entertaining product at the end of the day. If you don't have the time to do that, hire someone to do it. And if you recognize you need to do it in your content, start fucking doing it. Edit it yourself.
Yep.
You know, produce better quality streams. get a green screen, something.
There's 2 points that I want to highlight, and I've always fought inside myself whether or not this was like a questionable way to go about it, but it ended up working out for me, and you can tell me what you think about it. So the first point that I want to highlight is the good thing about being like an amateur creator is you can find an amateur editor. You don't necessarily need to go out there and find the best of the best. Of course, there's going to be people who are really good at editing that are going to charge $40, $50, $60 an hour to edit. You can find people out there that will admit that they are not the greatest, but they want to learn. If you can find somebody who is hungry and wants to learn editing, and then they're okay with getting paid not what a regular editor gets paid, you guys can grow together. And then as you grow, you can pay more. And as they grow, they're going to want more. And that's super, super good. What I did after struggling to find an editor for a while, I put out a feeler like, hey, I'm really bogged down. I'm looking for somebody in the community that enjoys the content that wouldn't mind editing the podcast for me. It's all you need to do is clip the beginning, clip the end, create a thumbnail, and send it to me so that I can upload it. And I put it out there as it was not a paid thing. I just said, I don't have a lot. I can't do much. Please hit me up. I had some people hit me up, and then I found somebody, and his name is Ginkgo Bilobasaur, and he's a fucking awesome person. And he's like, hey, I would love to help out. And then I said, okay, well, just so you know, this isn't a free thing. I do want to pay you. Putting it up for free helped me weed out who actually wanted to do the job or not. And then as soon as I found somebody that was willing to do the volunteer, I was like, okay, just so you know, I actually do want to pay you. It's not going to be a fucking GME, right? We're not going to the moon with this payment, but I do want to give you something. And that ended up working out really well for me. Was that a shitty thing to do, to like ask for somebody to do it for free and then pay them afterwards?
No, I mean, I think there's definitely like a precedent in this industry where people put out these sort of job offers on the assumption that they're not going to pay. They're looking for free help. But I think at the same time, I wouldn't expect you to have a budget to hire an editor. You're a solo dude streaming, a few nights a week. I'm sure you make plenty of money off of this, but do you know how much a fucking real editor costs?
That's a lot.
I'm a full-time video editor. I don't make what a real editor costs. And I make a living.
I was going to ask to confirm the hourly rate, but I don't want you to put that out there if you don't want to.
I mean, for me, I can't tell you what I make.
Okay.
That's privileged information.
No, that's good.
It's not exorbitant, but a real editor, working at an editing suite, is making $200 an hour, minimum. And that's you basically take your footage to them. You're like, this is the footage I have. This is what I want. And they do it. They put a rough cut together, and then they mix and master. They do the color and whatever. You're spending thousands of dollars to have someone edit, and it's like if you go an hour over budget, man, it's bad news, dude. So I definitely think it's good to be like, listen, I have money. I will fucking pay you to do this job. The problem is, and this is like a cancer on the content creator industry, is that people don't want to work for money, and it blows my mind.
As a default.
No, exactly. Totally. People, they don't think they're good enough, or they don't think their art is good enough. So they here's my art. It's so cute. Follow me on Patreon, whatever. I take commissions, but I only charge $35 for something that takes me 12 hours to do. Charge the fucking money. And the big secret that I shouldn't be saying this. It's something no one wants to hear. We are all shit at this. I am not I'm not Ansel Adams, okay? I'm just a guy with a camera that kind of knows what he's doing. Mm-hmm. You're just a streamer that kind of knows what he's doing. We're not geniuses. Dr. Disrespect, for all of his production value and character value or whatever, he's just a normal guy that kind of is figuring it out as he goes along. If you want to edit, if you want to make YouTube videos, if you want to take photos, if you want to do anything, just fucking do it. Mm-hmm. And if you're doing it and people like it, charge money for it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No,
it's I don't know. Go. What you were gonna say?
The amount of times that I hit people up, I'm like, hey, I need 4 emotes, and they're like, okay, cool, that'll be $20. I'm like, stop,
$20, bro. That's like a $300 job minimum.
Fucking charge me money.
Yeah, and like, listen, I am totally okay with Fiverr existing. I think it is a fantastic service, and you can find great people doing great. I had someone do a remix of the Battlefield theme mixed with the Terminator theme, and it sucked. Like the guy that sent it was like just some fucking MIDI mashup, but there was like a 30-second clip in it that was really fucking good, and that's what I used, and it was perfect. And
where the fuck is it, Alex?
I don't know. I haven't used it yet, actually. Like I haven't posted it.
Okay.
But
I need it.
It was $23 well spent. And I'm like, if that guy who makes shitty MIDI remixes of music just spent like 5 hours a day doing it and got good enough to like really charge money for it, he could be charging thousands of dollars a day. Mm-hmm. Like there is nothing, like anyone can do this. Like at video editing, I am not an amazing video editor. I take clips, I cut them, I cut the boring shit out, I slap them together, I organize thoughts, ideas, and I put it into a cohesive package. On a technical level, I am not an amazing editor. I can't do amazing transitions or effects. I can use After Effects. I have a graphic design background, and that's something I actually want to touch on in a second. But I like my ability. What makes me a good editor is that I can take an hour of footage and condense it into 10 minutes that presents the whole hour, but in like a complete package that's only 10 minutes long and it's entertaining. That is my skill. That is the thing I've worked the hardest on. And it's something you learn by doing. Like anyone can learn to be a video editor. And like that's the cool thing. It's like DaVinci Resolve is free. I'm not a huge fan of it. I think it's a color grading software, not an editing suite, but it's getting there. But for video editing, dude, it is way more than enough. Like I used to use iMovie, like before it was a Final Cut clone. I'm talking one audio track, one video track. Okay, no multi-track. I used to cut some dope shit on iMovie, and now DaVinci Resolve. If I had DaVinci Resolve in 2008 when I started taking YouTube more seriously, we wouldn't be having this conversation because I wouldn't be in this position in life.
You'd be at the White House,
bro. I'd be like editing for like NFL films or something. Like I would be. The privilege we have with the software and hardware we have access to these days is fucking mind-blowing. Yeah. So yeah, anyone can do this. We're all shit at it. It's fine.
There's regarding the condensing down content, trying to write and record content for TikTok has actually kind of blindsided me of like, you fluff a lot when you talk, and I've like when I go back and look at I think I have a 30-minute tutorial on nesting scenes on OBS, and it's like it's way too fucking long. I could probably trim that down a lot, and that's something that I've gotten better over time. But trying to record content for TikTok has made me be super cognizant of what I'm saying. Try and get to the point. I obviously have to speak faster because I'm not necessarily a fast speaker. But trying to condense that stuff and learn, like, okay, what is the point that you need to get across? How much time do you spend setting the premise? How much time do you spend explaining? And then how much time do you spend after the fact trying to dish out additional information? And so that's kind of been fun in itself, because when you think of YouTube, you're like, oh, I can make a YouTube video as long as I want. Like if you're a beginner creator, that's your thought. But if you're experienced, like your click through, your rates, your average watch time, all the things that you need to consider when you're making a video. But yeah, it's just something that I didn't really think about at first, and then I was just realizing, oh my God, I am cramming 3 minutes worth of talking into 1 minute, and I'm like, I'm sacrificing funny parts, and I fucking hate this. And then I post it, I'm like, okay, it's actually still kind of cool.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's something I've learned over the years. And I started making like comedy videos where I'm a very political person. I take politics very seriously because it's something that is very important to our society. And I know that's something that a lot of people don't want to talk about. They don't want to hear about. And I get it. So I try to make it funny, and I try to make it entertaining, and I let my anger and rage about this stuff kind of shine through, and that's part of the comedic element of it. But in doing that content, something I realized really quickly is that I got to get to the punchline as fast as possible because I got like 15 seconds of your time. And if I don't make you laugh in that time, it's not going to be interesting. And I'm not saying like, you got to be funny all the time or anything, but it's something I kind of always had in the back of my head, like just get to the point, don't waste time. And when I started the technical channel that I run now, which is like the DIY mics, cameras, stuff that I'm covering, like I don't make a lot of content because I don't have a lot of time, but I just put out a video about how to normalize audio in Windows with like one click. It's fucking great.
I love your banner, by the way. How you put in like the programming colors and I like it a lot.
It reminds me of my old RCA TV that had like the little. It's fucking. I'm a nerd. But yeah, no, it's like totally like you gotta get to the point as fast as possible. And like my content production workflow now for my own stuff, for other stuff is, every word matters, every frame of the video matters. And that's something I learned in the commercial industry because like when you have a script, you stick to the script, the actor says the thing, and you don't put a single word in that script that doesn't advance the story or sell the product, like period. Like Bernie Sanders, if you're listening, the reason you keep losing elections is because you put not us or not me, us in your slogan. Just make it us.
Yeah.
Bro, you're telling people don't vote for me, us. Just
I
us.
don't see us on the ballot.
Exactly. And so it's one of those things where it's like you learn really quickly doing online content creation that the attention span of people it's gone. They don't have attention spans anymore. That's why TikTok's so successful because you can infinitely scroll until something makes you stop.
Yeah.
And so with YouTube, like it's a lesson I've learned, and it's gut wrenching, dude. Like I'll be like, oh man, that was a funny take of that video, and I'm to the point now where the video I just put out, it looks like I cut between takes. That was all one take, and
about the Texas, is that the governor?
No, fuck that. Those I could shit those videos. No, the audio video I put out about normalizing, that's one continuous take that I just cut the breaths out of and punched in a few times. Like I've just gotten to the point where I have so little free time and I have so little energy for editing that like I get everything I need in one take, like one continuous take, and I don't fucking go ring around the rosy with it. And then I get into the editing software and I just cut out whatever doesn't work. I cut out the breaths and then that's the video. So like that video, I might have done 10 takes. Like I'm Tom Scott, motherfucker. I do the whole video in one take. I'm the one take master. But like I do it and like it takes me like 10 or so tries per video to get the good take. When I get the good take, I know it. Then I just take it, cut it, and I post it. And the cool thing about that video is it's the first video where I've taken it and posted it on Twitter and TikTok as their own separately edited or recut videos. And it really made me appreciate the fact that I didn't waste a fucking word in that video. And I still had shit I could cut for the Twitter. Because Twitter is 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And then TikTok is 60 seconds. So I took a video that's like 3-something minutes long. I condensed it to 2 minutes and 20 seconds. And then I found a 60-second video that said exactly the same thing. And it pissed me off because I was like, this video on YouTube could have been 60 seconds long. And it would have said exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
And like the thing is, every video a viewer sees on YouTube is a question. Do I want to watch this? And when you can click that video and you can get the answer in 60 seconds, that video is going to have a lot more value to people than a 30-minute video about the same topic. Not to shit on you, everyone does this.
Yep.
And like I'm not saying 60-second videos are possible for everything, but that's like why this style of content, talking about webcams and streaming and stuff, is so popular on TikTok, because it forces you to shut the fuck up about shit that doesn't fucking matter and just actually talk about the thing that does.
Yep.
And like I love it so much because it's forcing everyone I know who doesn't cut out the breaths to cut out the breaths and get to the fucking point.
Yep. Do you find that with engaging with TikTok more, do you prefer long form content less? Will you still watch a 20-minute YouTube video?
No, most of the content I watch on YouTube is actually pretty long. Like Winter Garden's videos are like at least 15 minutes.
Is that the Marvel guy?
Yeah, Marble Guy.
All right, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Oh, it's so good, dude. He's such a fucking nerd. But like, yeah, no, it hasn't diminished my appreciation of long form content at all. And honestly, like a TikTok as a platform, like the scrolling feed and stuff, like the actual implementation of how they deliver and help you make content is fucking genius. It is the most ingenious platform I have ever come across. It's so well executed, but I fucking hate most of the content on it. I can't, and like me making content on it has been incredibly infuriating because I cover some political stuff from time to time on TikTok, and the comments are like from bootlicking Trump supporters, and it drives me insane. Like I posted a video, and it doesn't matter what your political affiliation is. It doesn't matter if you believe in what the protesters were protesting or not. It's completely an aside to that. The fact of the matter was that a cop took his SUV and drove it through a crowd of people with force, and he hurt people. And so I made a TikTok being like, if we can't trust police officers to operate their cars in a safe and, a manner befitting someone sworn to serve and protect the public, why would you trust them with a $75,000 robot from Boston Dynamics? And to be frank, the Boston Dynamics robot, Spot, the dog thing, it's an incredible innovation. It is insane, but it is basically useless to most industries unless you can put an arm on it and make it do like production line work, or like put a camera on it and make it do like neighborhood or mini. Listen, I'm working on it. Okay. Boston Dynamics, if you want a cool ass video, let me know.
Sponsor us, please.
But like they gave one, the police bought one for $75,000. And the comments on that TikTok where I'm basically like, if you don't trust them with a car, why would you trust them with a robot? Because, eventually they're going to put guns on the robots. It's going to be a bad time.
Right.
Exactly. Right. And it's like the comments are like, well, actually, if you notice the windshield of that SUV is cracked. And, so they were just like trying to get out. I'm like, they could have backed up. They could have not tried to drive through the crowd in the first place. They could have acted like a trained police officer and served and protected the people by not driving over them. Yeah. Like the whole reason the cop was there was to try to control the crowd with force. And that force was a 5,000-pound metal object that can travel at 60 miles an hour on a city street. Like it's a huge responsibility. And it's like, but the comments, you guys have a lot of work to do. Yeah, you have so much work to do as content creators on TikTok to inform people that they're stupid and how to think better, because my brain fell out of my head on some of the comments.
There is a lot of that. I know that Epos has probably gotten a lot of because like I see Epos tweet about the stupid comments that he get, and I almost tweeted about this recently, but somebody had asked me like, hey, how hot does your room get? And I'm like, well, it gets super fucking hot because it's 8x9, and I leave in my air conditioner all year. The people that try to tell you how to use your utilities to save money, like, oh, you should probably take the window conditioner out and close the window so you can save money. It's like, it's my fucking money. I don't care. Like, okay, cool. You're gonna govern me on how much electricity I use. Guess what? When I shit, I take 2-ply and I fold it. You probably fucking 20-ply, have a handful of toilet paper and throw it down. Like, people that try to coach me on what I waste in life and what I don't, fuck off. I don't fucking care about what you think I waste.
Listen, I fucking shop at Costco now because I'm expecting a child and I need 50 pounds of pasta to last 3 months, so I don't have to go fucking shop. Don't fucking tell me about saving money, you fucks.
Drives me insane.
These headphones were $200 and I bought them literally because I saw a review that made me happy. I was like, I like this review. I'm going to buy them because I want something to come in the mail and make me happy. I have so many fucking pairs of fucking headphones. I don't need more. But if you fucking tell me, Alex, you shouldn't be buying headphones because that's wasteful, these are fucking great headphones. Fuck you. They sound amazing. I love them.
I love my friend Sonder to death. I love him so much. He's one of my best friends. I was doing a cooking stream one time and I was making French fries. And so I was cutting the tops and the bottoms off of the potatoes so that all the French fries could be the same length, the same width. They needed to be uniform because that's how fries are good. And so after cutting 8 potatoes and shaving off, and I threw all the shavings away, and he started giving me shit for not saving the shavings of the potatoes to make home fries. I lost my fucking mind trying to like reason. And then of course, like as soon as one person talks about it, like chat, like, yeah, you could have made fries. You could have. I could have done a lot of shit, but guess what? They're in the trash. And then I just started throwing away good pieces of potato just to further piss them off. But that's one thing that necessarily isn't bad, but it triggers the hell out of me. Like you, that's a waste of electricity. That's a waste of water. Get the fuck out of my life. This is me. Yeah. This is my house. I make my money. I spend my money how I want. I don't need you to tell me how I should use my utilities. That's always just drove me fucking insane.
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge difference between advice and telling people what to do. Like, and we all experience this every fucking waking moment, especially if you use social media a lot. There's so much noise out there now. And, you know, I hate to sound like a boomer because I respect the shit out of social media and I think it's very valuable. I think it's got a lot of problems, whatever.
Me too.
But like, it is so full of noise because everyone wants to have an opinion or put their feedback on something or input, whatever. And it's not that it's not valuable. It's that, you know, when you say, I went to IKEA today and I bought a bed, and some fucking asshole is like, well, actually, if you bought the Fukarsk instead of the Fushil, you know, you would have had a more comfortable night's sleep. Motherfucker, I laid on the fucking Fushil. It was fucking nice, so I bought it. You weren't fucking there. You don't have my spine. Shut the fuck up. But sometimes a motherfucker will be like, yo, you know what's really good at IKEA? The fucking flap schmear. I didn't even think of the flap schmear. And it's like there's this fine line between like unsolicited bullshit noise and actually useful advice. And I think it's definitely hard to find the line because everyone has a different line. Like you mentioned Epos's like funny comments stuff. Mm-hmm. Epos's line is very vague to me. Like I don't know like what's frustrating him and what's not a lot.
Right.
And I talk to that motherfucker every day. I love the guy. And it's really interesting to see like what annoys him about YouTube comments versus other people because we're all different. Like I have such a high tolerance for stupid. I have such a high tolerance for noise, and like I'll see something stupid and like it'll bother me, but like I'll just be like, haha, you're stupid. Next. Yeah. And it's actually funny you bring this up because today or last night, I wrote the comment today, but last night my wife was watching this guy that he's a travel vlogger and he lives in an RV. And because of the pandemic and everything kind of being shut down, he's basically just been at Disney World for a month. And which is fucking amazing, right? Like he spent like a whole week at the park and now he's like going to the different resorts and like camping at the RV parks or whatever. And he posted this video of going to one of the Disney resorts. And my wife was watching it on our TV, and it was infuriating because the whole time he's basically like being the boomer that doesn't understand why masks saves lives. And he's like complaining about like Disney like having uneven rules about mask wearing and like some of the stuff is shut down because you can't touch it because that's like not sanitary or safe. And it's like I left this comment and it was basically like, do you not recognize the insane privilege you have as someone who can travel in an RV to go? You can go literally anywhere you want on the face of the fucking planet right now. And people are dying. And you have the privilege of being able to spend like your an entire month at a Disney resort and you're complaining. And like, I totally recognize that comment is noise. I totally recognize I'm just telling the guy, fuck you, you piece of shit for being such an entitled douchebag.
Yeah.
But at the same time, someone else might see that comment and go, you know, that guy's fucking right. This dude is being a dick. The pandemic is a real problem, and he's kind of being a real arrogant asshole about it. I don't like it. And like, I think that is what people, when they say, don't throw away the potatoes, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for, hey, I want to give advice that other people are going to see and be like, that helped me. And it's totally cool. Like, it's a very genuine thing. But I think the difference is you have to respect when someone tells you to fuck off. like,
Right.
or blocks you or something. Like I see so many creators that are like, I don't block people when they annoy me. And I'm like, I block people. I'll be scrolling. Someone will retweet someone else's tweet. I don't like that tweet. I'll just block the fucking retweeted tweet. I don't need to see that shit. I don't need my day darkened by your fucking obnoxious bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's like, just have a line and be like, this annoys me. And if you cross the line, I don't want to, you're bye. Goodbye. Have a nice day.
You got to utilize it. The muting and the blocking.
It's so good
for your fucking sanity. Oh my God.
Yeah, like there are like literally phrases that I've blocked on Twitter because I just don't want to see like shit. I don't want to see dumb stuff every day. And it's like, yeah, am I missing out on something funny? Probably, maybe. I don't know. I don't give a fuck, man.
It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, fuck Cujo, chat. Fuck that guy.
You know, Cujo is somebody who, when I first kind of started getting involved in EPOS community, Cujo's another guy that was like, yeah, I don't really watch Twitch streams that often. And then I see him once in chat. I see him twice in chat. I'm like, oh,
yeah, you fucking
Cujo,
got him.
Come on
You
by.
thought you was getting out, but not really. You back in, motherfucker.
Hey, do you want to entertain my chat for me while I go relieve myself in the bathroom?
Can I get naked?
What platform are we on? Yes, you can.
I mean,
do you have a hot tub?
Oh, fuck, that's a good idea. I've been trying to convince my wife to buy us one of those inflatable hot tubs for years. And she won't do it.
Have you seen, there is something else where it's like think of like a pool floaty, the ones that you like lay in. They go in the bottom of your bathtub.
Oh, I've seen
and
those,
they create the jacuzzi effect.
Yeah. I need one.
You get one of those.
I need two. I need more. I need it.
Do you have two baths?
I wish.
I was about to say, I'm like,
dude,
you privileged motherfucker.
when you get back from peeing, I got a great bathroom layout problem to throw at you, man.
All right. 90 seconds.
All right, chat. If you guys have questions that you need answered, I saw Floof Derp was asking some questions, and I screenshotted them. And I will answer them right now, even though I think we're doing a Q&A later. Floof Derp. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I'm pretty sure it's Floof Derp. You wanted fancy headphone cables or fancy cables? There's two companies. Hart, H-A-R-T Audio. They make custom cables that are affordable. And I highly recommend them. They will custom make you any fucking cable under the sun. But they also sell a bunch of pre-made stuff. It's great. If you're looking for something that's not boutique and you're just like, I need like an RCA cable that's like red and white to a headphone, Amazon Basics cables are fucking lit, dude. They're so cheap and yet so good. Yo, Ice, my face is dumb because you're fucking dumber. Fuck you. And then if Derp asks another question, how do you cut all the breaks and stuff? Just look at the audio for the person talking, and if there's nothing happening, just cut it, and then the video is fine. Don't worry about it. And welcome back.
Thank you.
Dude, that was perfect timing. I answered two fucking questions that I'm intended to save until after the podcast, but fuck it, dude. I'm
perfect.
Going live.
Speaking of
stupid questions anyway. Fuck it.
So regarding your bathroom story, once that's done, we can probably get into, we got 4 questions from the Q&A, and then that will most likely put us at about the 2.5 hour mark, which is like the perfect medium for me. Okay. So please, your bathroom story.
Okay. So my bathroom, when we first saw this house, like we rent, and we were trying to move to a bigger space. So we looked at a few places and we saw this place and like everything was going okay. It was like the basement, the ceiling's so low I can't stand up. That's kind of a problem. And then we opened the bathroom door and the bathroom is really tiny. It's like in between 2 rooms on the corner of the house. So like it's like 90 degrees and the bathroom is like around the corner basically.
Okay.
So it's a very awkward bathroom. And the toilet is nearly tucked under the sink. So when you sit on the toilet, your knees go under the sink. And my wife being pregnant is like, she's getting to the point where it might be uncomfortable for her to use the toilet. I don't know who the fuck designed this house, but you're a fucking asshole. No, don't fucking overlap the bathroom appliances, my guy.
Yeah.
That, like, it's so, and it's like obvious that like it was like there's like an extension on the house, and the bathroom was like in a slightly different orientation before. The whole fucking house, like all of the outlets, they're all grounded, which is great. They're 3-prong, but they're upside down.
Oh
So
my God.
the grounding prong's on the top. So everything I plug in is upside down. And I'm like, it's one of those things where it's like, dude, how is that acceptable? How do you look at that and go, oh, that's upside down, and not fix it? Like,
yeah, I'll leave it.
It drives me fucking insane.
Our sink is super close to the toilet. I've never asked if my girlfriend has done this, but going from the pulling pants down to go into number 2 mode, I've hit my forehead on the sink going down, and then also in a night of drunken stupor, I've also hit my chin going down as well. Oh. And it's just like, and then I have to shit with my tongue out of my mouth,
because you can't stop. You're like basically once the pants come off and you start bending over, the shit's already coming out.
Yeah, we've got a squatty potty, so it's fucking over.
Oh, nice! I saw a TikTok of that once where this dude he ascended to the 3rd plane of existence because of the squatty potty. Lit me up, dude. I almost bought one, but
squatty potty and a bidet is like the fucking triforce of shitting.
I need a fucking bidet so bad, dude.
We do too.
I'm about to just take a hose.
Just bring it into your bathroom,
dude. Honestly, we have a shower with like the detachable head with a hose on it. My ass has never been this clean before. Like, I didn't realize like the difference, like just having something with force rinse out that area does. Because like obviously I've washed my ass my whole life. It has always been clean, but now it is like spotless clean. It's like gay porn star clean, which is a compliment to gay porn. So I don't know how the fuck you guys do it. I don't know how women do it. That like, because that's 2 holes you got to keep clean. That's fucking insane.
And they're so close.
They're literally next to each other. I don't know how they do it. It's funny, actually. I was watching an interview with like porn stars at AVN once. It was like part of like a comedy sketch from one of the channels I watch, and they were like, "How do you prepare for anal sex for a scene?" And it was a male porn star doing the interview. So he would ask this question, and the girls would be like, "Oh, well, I spend basically 24 hours not eating. I use a butt plug. I sanitize 3 times a day while I'm doing this. Like, it's a very regimented thing." And the dude doing the interview that's a porn star, he's like, "Yeah, that's fucking great. That's awesome." And then the next chick he interviews, she's like, I don't really do anything. I just kind of, wipe a couple times and I show up." And the guy, you can see his face just go, "I've had shit on my dick because of this one." Yeah. And it's like, I have such an appreciation now for clean butts because my butt is so clean. And I also, pro tip, Dr. Bronner's soaps, Pure Castile soaps. I'm so clean right now. I took a shower right before the podcast. I'm so clean right now. I don't have any like skin oils. I am completely dry and sanitary, and I'm going to be this way for 3 days straight. I've forgotten to shower twice after using this stuff. I couldn't remember when I last showered. I was still clean.
Holy shit.
I'll send you a link later. It's Dr. Bronner's soap. This is not an ad. It's not sponsored. If you want to sponsor Knackers, let me know.
Dr. Bronner's.
I saw a TikTok of a guy who used the peppermint stuff they make, and he's like, it felt like I was in the shower and my ass was on the porch in the winter drinking a 40. And it made me laugh so hard. I was like, I have to try this soap. I got to see I got to see this bullshit. And it turns out that one of my relatives had bought us a sample pack already. And so I had it and I used it that night. And I was like,
Game changer.
Dude, my asshole, it felt like I was buck naked in the like Canadian winter. It was so clean feeling. So I bought the lavender one and I felt really good.
Oh shit, lavender. Yo, I'm sold. I've been bar soaping it for a couple years now, just out of sheer
bar soap.
Disgust for like overpriced shower products.
That's the thing. Like I hate like the beauty industry's obsession with like you've got to buy like this like moisturizer or exfoliant bullshit. Because I have bad skin. And my wife is into makeup, and I love like drag queens. Like I'm totally obsessed with like makeup
Really?
gurus. Yeah, it's a very weird conversation topic starter thing, but like I'm a RuPaul Drag Race fanatic. I watch that show every Friday night with my wife. Like
My girlfriend loves you now.
Good, because she's fucking awesome. And it's incredible, but like the stuff they go through, like especially drag queens, like they are very, because they're not women. They're very like, they have the like mentality of guys that are like, I want the cheapest thing that does the job. And it's like, dude, man, like makeup wipes, fucking genius. You don't need to spend $80 on a pack of makeup wipes. You fucking get yourself some fucking Lysol wipes. They're fine. And it's like, when I found this soap, I was like, this is it. This is the soap I'm going to have for the rest of my life because it's exactly what I want. And it's like $15 a bottle for like a 32-ounce fucking jug. Like, it's amazing.
You
and
thought
like,
you were going to take the Irish Spring to your grave.
Yeah, no, that shit. Listen, they're going to bury me with a bottle of lavender Dr. Bronner soap because that's an endorsement that I will stand by for the rest of my life. That is the perfect soap.
All right,
and it's
I'm in.
Bro, fuck fancy soaps, dude. Just get the shit that fucking is like a chemical peel for your whole body.
And I love the bottles in this stuff that they chose. Not glamorous whatsoever. Those big bottles look like it's just like a bottle of fucking baby oil or something.
Yeah.
Family soap makers since 1858.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'll give it a shot. You sold me.
Yeah, you won't regret it. I buy a sample pack because they have like all sorts of different scents, and it's like it's a vibe, man. It's like playing a piano. You can pick your notes. But I was gonna say the reason I got into this shit is because I got into shaving a long time ago, and I discovered like the artisan shaving soap industry.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, as a guy, like, you know, you're not normally exposed to like the stuff that women are exposed to because of like the whole makeup stuff.
Right.
But like when you get into shaving, there is like this cottage industry of like handmade artisanal soap, and they're fucking amazing. And I've bought some. But like at the end of the day, the shit that works the best is like Nivea's like shave gel, and it's like $5 a bottle. And I'm like, experientially, yeah, the handcrafted soap smells nice and it makes me feel good because I used it and blah blah blah. But if I want a good shave, I'm reaching for the fucking $5 shave stuff off the shelf from the drugstore, motherfucker. Okay, listen up, you know.
I buy my razors from Dollar Shave Club and my shave lather.
Nice.
It's like the 4 razors a month for I think $8, something like that. Love it.
You can't beat it. What are you gonna?
You can't.
Like I use a double. I shave once a month, and I use a beard trimmer now. I've completely given up.
Yeah.
But like,
oh yeah. I haven't shaved my face in so long.
Yeah, it's like, but I got other things I need to shave.
This is true. Da-da-da-da.
Mainly my dogs, but
that too. All right, homie. You want to? I know we didn't touch on. Here's the thing. When I saw that you had written so many amazing things as talking points, in my head, I'm like, I love that he was so forthright with his preparation. But at the same time, I'm like, I know how he talks. I know how I talk. We're not getting to fucking 70% of these.
No, it's fine, dude. I don't give a shit. Yeah, if you want chat to ask a question about any of our topics, feel free to put them in the chat and let them decide.
Chat, feel free to use !Q if you want to ask a question before we end this. Now is the time. There will be a cutoff just so we don't go for 3.5 hours because we fucking could if we wanted to.
Dude, I'll be here all night.
Are you Eastern Standard Time?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even know what state you live in.
Philadelphia. Which is not a state,
shit!
It's a city. Yeah. You up in that Detroit, up in that's Philadelphia, dog.
Oh, motherfucker. So I've been inside you 1, 2.
Oh, really?
3 times so far. Now, I will say I have only had the touristy cheesesteaks that exist in Philadelphia. But
you went to Geno's, didn't you?
No, I went to Pat's. I was a Pat's guy.
Actually, you made a good call.
Yeah, no, I'm Pat's all the way, dude. But we have friends. I don't know where they live outside the city limits in Philly. Wait, no, that's Pittsburgh. I'm sorry. Philly's totally different. Fuck. All right, anyway, cheesesteaks. I love cheesesteaks. Okay. First question comes from Cujo. Alex, what's your craziest wedding photography story?
Fights. Did
you capture them?
Of course. So
okay, good.
So I used to photograph Indian weddings, and Indian folks they have a lot of like traditional values and beliefs, and it's an incredibly vibrant and beautiful culture. Like when you go to an Indian wedding, you are getting like the creme de la creme of weddings on top of they're just fucking amazing parties. But there's one element of every Indian wedding that is very violent, and that is when the bride's family steals the groom's shoes. Because when you get married, you can't leave the like ceremony without your shoes. It's like a big deal. And so when they steal the shoes, the groomsmen and stuff basically are like, motherfucker, we're throwing down over this. Now the shoes always get stolen. They always get returned. It's like a process. But some folks at these weddings, they start drinking a little early and they get fucking serious, dude. I have seen dudes plow through crowds of women trying to grab the shoe from whoever stole it. I've seen people nearly come to like actually physically fighting with their fists. I've seen like people getting trampled. It's wild, dude. And honestly, once it's all over, everyone is still having an amazing time. It's not awkward like at, white people weddings where like someone farts and it ruins the whole wedding.
Right.
Indian folks, like, because it's like it's part of the culture and the belief system behind why they're getting married. So it's like part of the event is like, it's like hockey. There's got to be a fight at some point. That's right. The whole fucking point. And so like, that is my it's a good wedding story. I'm sorry, but I have a lot of bad ones that I don't want to relive.
Gotcha. That's fair. I had no idea that was a thing that happened at Indian weddings. That is fucking hilarious.
Indian weddings are great. Like if you hate weddings, you should try going to just crash an Indian wedding once in your life. You'll have a completely different opinion of weddings. You will get so fucked up and dance so hard. Oh my God.
And the food too.
Oh, and I love Indian food, and everyone I work with kind of hates it. It's so fucking fun. I'll be like getting 3 plates, and these motherfuckers will be like, I don't know, man, my butt's going to hurt tomorrow. I'm like, I drink hot sauce for breakfast, you bitch.
All right, next question from Girthy. How much do you think the pandemic played a role in the rise of non-gaming streams?
Oh, man. It's tough to say because I think the reason IRL streams and just chatting took off was because people could take their camera and like go to like some crazy part of town and like do cool stuff. But I also think everyone installing Zoom and realizing they could record themselves has opened up the door to like stuff like this, and like podcasting has become super popular. And like right now, like Code Miko, probably my favorite streamer on Twitch, because she has an animated full body motion capture suit. Like we're talking a motion capture suit that's like $25,000-$30,000.
Oh, holy shit!
And she wears it like it's like the Extents or something motion. It's like a new thing that just came out recently. It's really changing how people do this stuff. But so she wears that, and then she also has like full face tracking with her webcam, and she's completely built from the ground up an Unreal Engine game in which her character is mapped to her body, so she acts as the avatar. Like it's VTuber on the next fucking level. Mm-hmm. And I have a sneaking suspicion that the reason she has time to do this is because what else are you going to do? And part of what's made her so popular, I think, is that she, as the character, interviews other streamers, and her comedic timing and everything aside, it's like she's creating an element of collaboration that I don't think would have taken off so quickly if it weren't for the pandemic, because us streamers, like whatever, we have way more free time because we're not like going out and doing things, but we also needed to supplement the lack of being able to go out and film ourselves with something that we could do at home. And folks like Code Miko have like kind of revolutionized how you engage with your content, because you can be like, I'm in a video game and I can make myself explode in a violent display of death and violence as a video game character, and it looks cool. And then people give me bits to make my boobs bigger.
Win-win.
It's an absolute win. Like, dude, Code Miko, huge shout out, huge props. She gets banned on a monthly basis by Twitch, even though they're totally fine with chicks showing their actual buttholes.
I
don't know.
I need a Code Miko Sushi Dragon collaboration.
Oh my fucking! The universe would implode, dude. That's dangerous.
Yeah, I would absolutely love that. I don't think that the pandemic necessarily played a role in because like non-gaming streams, in my opinion, were already on the rise. Like you've seen a lot of streamers deviate spending. It used to be streamers would start the stream in the middle of a match. Like they would just start the stream and then they would go. And now you see, especially with the big guys and girls, they start chatting, they hang out for an hour, sometimes two, and then they get into the video games. And not only is it a really great way to build relationships with people in your community, it's also a good way to supplement the gaming. So instead of having to game for 8 hours straight, you can talk for 2, you can game for 2, you can break it up with a meal, and you can fucking mukbang if you want. And so I think the variety has definitely helped a lot of people, whether that was pandemic infused or not. I can't say that I've seen any stats to prove or disprove that. I mean, obviously more people are home, but at the same time, there's more streamers. There's also more viewers.
I think that's the big thing. It's like everyone being forced to be at home has just created a bigger viewer base. Like that's why games like Fall Guys, Among Us, Phasmophobia, Rust, whatever. That's why they're blown up so big. It's because people are home now more than they've ever been since Twitch has been a thing. Mm-hmm. And it's like there is the audience for that content has just gotten so much bigger and so much more hungry for that content. Like I don't think necessarily that like, just chatting streams took off because of the pandemic. They were taken up before it. But I think the desire to watch that content has gotten much bigger. And so that's kind of propelled the popularity. But like IRL content was already becoming the de facto content on Twitch before the pandemic even happened. And like a big part of why I left Twitch and started streaming on Mixer and now I'm on YouTube is because I think the culture of Twitch has changed to be very much like drama oriented, and like Twitch does a really bad job of moderation, and it's real sus overall. And like I still think Twitch is a great platform. I have no issue with people wanting to stream on Twitch. Like I'm happy obviously to appear on Twitch. Like I'm not like a fuck Twitch kind of guy. But at the same time, I think other platforms like YouTube are just a better format for me. Mm-hmm. And that's mostly due to quality, but also because like if I have a problem with YouTube content, normally YouTube ends up resolving it in some way. With Twitch, it's like they can't even release a fucking emote without causing an outrage these days.
Yeah.
And whether you want to, that's neither here nor there, but yeah.
It's a big reason why I needed to kind of take a step back from Twitch is if I want to exist long term in this space, I have to put time into other platforms as well, which is why I'm going into TikTok, I'm going into YouTube, and part of me going this route with Twitch is in turn to create good YouTube content as well, like talking highlights, tech highlights, stuff like that. I have to be prepared for what happens if Twitch goes bye-bye in 2 years. You just like, you never fucking know.
I've been on this boat for so long that like I was on Vimeo, I was on blip.tv. Like I've been on all of the video sites over the years for work or personal stuff. And like the all your eggs in one basket thing is just the dumbest possible thing you could do because you're limiting your potential growth. Because, like no one knew that Twitter was going to be huge. No one knew that TikTok was going to be so big. But the people that were already on TikTok before it got big got way fucking bigger.
Yep.
And it's like, you always have to be like, if there's a new platform, like, yeah, I hate TikTok. I think it's cringy as shit. Sometimes I laugh at the stuff, and when the algorithm hits, it hits good. But like, I'm on TikTok because I recognize that as a platform for the kind of video content I want to do, and I have the time to do, it's a better platform. It's going to do better. And I'm like, I'm not going to say like no to like I have my problems with TikTok extend way beyond the content, and it's like the whole like China issue thing. Like I'm not here to like shit on Chinese people. It's the Chinese government. The CCP is evil. Don't listen to them, blah, 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 whatever. And like, there's all sorts of privacy concerns. But like the thing is, like when there's a new platform or you're a streamer and you're like, man, why is it that when I stream I get like 50 viewers, but when I tweet about it I get like 2 likes? It's because you haven't done shit to cultivate your Twitch or your Twitter following. You're just reposting your Twitch links, and that's fucking boring, dude. Like the algorithm's not gonna show a Twitch link. Yeah. It's taking them off of Twitter. What the fuck you doing? So it's like I 100% agree. Like you got to cultivate a following elsewhere. And the best part is once you get a bunch of motherfuckers on Twitter, you can be like, hey, Twitter people, go to Twitch and start watching me, you sons of bitches. And then all of a sudden you get more viewers.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Next question from Cujo. How's your journey been trying to sell all your old camera gear, Alex?
Oh, fuck you, Cujo. I knew you'd ask this. It's been a fucking nightmare. So before the pandemic, I routinely sold any sort of gear I didn't use a lot or replaced, like video cards and stuff. And I would do it on Amazon or whatever. And Amazon's reselling stuff is fucking phenomenal. Go use it. But like,
I didn't know that.
It's great. But you know, the pandemic hit, and I switched camera systems from Canon to Fuji recently. And part of doing that is selling my gear so I can replace it with other gear. Because, you know, I'm not going to spend $1,000 on a lens that I already own for another system. I'm going to get rid of it. And, you know, I have gotten so far 5 people trying to scam me with the exact same scam for the exact same item. And I'm losing my fucking mind. I don't know what happened. I'm trying Facebook Marketplace and eBay and Amazon right now. I don't know what happened between now and the last time I was selling stuff, but every offer is a scam now. And fuck you all, you scamming pieces of shit. I have people, they're like, I want you to send it to my sister in California. I will pay an extra $200 for shipping. And I'm like, so what you're saying is you're going to have me ship it to the wrong address and then you're going to try and get your money back. I'm not fucking stupid, okay? Yeah. The price of the item basically includes the shipping, you stupid fuck. I am not, don't fuck. I had someone, literally, I sent them my Venmo information and they were like, oh, by the way, I'm going to send you an extra $200 for shipping to ship it to my sister instead. And I was like,
God damn it.
I'm like, listen, I get that it's a $1,200 lens, okay? I'll sell it for $1,000. I get that, you know, big money items like that, which is, I mean, it's a camera lens that I bought with like, after working like a whole year. Don't get it twisted. I'm not rich. Don't come try to steal me. I will shoot you. But like, I get that it's like a high value item and that attracts a certain scumbag. But like, fuck off. Like, honestly, just let me sell shit, dude. I don't want it anymore. I want to give it to. I've put out, like, listen, if you, someone in the chat, if you need a 70 to 200 for Canon EF, I've got a fucking killer lens for you. I will give you a discount. DM me. Seriously, I want to get rid of it so I can buy a fucking nice lens for my Fuji camera.
You better not have a sister.
If you have a fucking sister and she's stuck in a washing machine right now, you can fuck off and fuck her instead, because I'm not taking that dick. Stepsister, on my bed. You can't do incest.
Oh, you can.
I mean, listen, I'm not
physically. Next question from Nargoyle. Oh shit! You know what? Nargoyle got a gub sifted to them.
I was just gonna say good name, but
yeah. Oh yeah. Stanky Leg or Dougie?
Fuck. I mean, the guy doing the Dougie with the ice cream truck is really fucking good.
I don't know what dance this is. It's neither, and you can tell me which one it is. But where you go like this.
I think that's the Dougie, where you're like, yeah, that's the stanky leg is where you just put your leg out and you act like an idiot. The Dougie is where you're like, ah. Oh,
I don't think that's the Dougie. I thought that was the.
Listen, I'm a fucking white guy that can't dance. Don't take my word for it.
The Bernie thing. My man Vans knows his fucking dances, especially if they're done by white people.
I will take, if you can find me a video of a person doing the dance and getting hit by a car doing it, that is the dance I like. Because I have seen videos like that, and they are the funniest thing. Yeah. We were talking in Epos' chat, and someone shared a video of like people doing like Fast and the Furious road racing burnouts and shit. and this car was doing donuts, and a woman just runs up to the car and she gets fucking sent to the moon by the rear end of the car. Like the car smacks into her, and bro, that video, yes, that woman probably broke her hip. Is probably gonna go into severe medical debt because of the hospital bill and end up homeless. That's terrible. I'm sorry she got hit by a car. But she also got the fuck up and walked away from it like nothing happened, and it was hilarious.
Queenie just said one of my absolute favorite things that I have not seen on TikTok yet. The people who ram their friends with the golf carts, like when they're up for the shot, and they just fucking ram them, and they break through the fucking golf cart windshield. That shit gets me every time.
Dude, Happy Madison, the golf cart stunts. Chef's kiss.
So good.
Golf carts. I've driven. I got to drive. I shot a wedding on a country club, and they had golf carts, and I just took one and like drove around the whole thing. I spent like an hour just scooting around. I want a golf cart.
Yeah.
I need a golf cart. They're fucking sick.
My friend had a vacation, or his grandparents had a vacation home somewhere in Ohio, and this super fucking ritzy. They had their mansion, and then they had a 4-car garage that had a 2-bedroom apartment above it that was just there for guests who came over.
What the fuck?
The entire island, you don't pay money. You say your club number, and then they just bill it to the account. That's how fucking ritzy this was. And in order to get anywhere, because none of us could drive, we just had a golf cart that we drove everywhere on the island, and it was fucking amazing. That shit will just like I will never have a vacation like that ever again.
Dude, my dad was doing a shoot for a hotel casino in like Mississippi or like a southern state, and the facility is like this beautiful, like massive, like when you know, like when you're playing like the new Hitman games and you go to a mansion and there's like thousands of people. All right, well, you've probably seen the trailers at some point. It's like that. It's like a fucking like deluxe, like rich people mansion hotel place. And so they were doing the shoot, and like to get around, the staff uses these doors that are built into the walls that when they're closed, you can't tell they're doors. And my dad was like, so like, how come you guys built all these like crazy invisible doors? And they were like, well, actually, those were for the slaves when this was a plantation. And I'm like, ever since then, man, I've been like, fancy people are assholes.
Holy fuck.
Bro, because like, they're like, yeah, like when we renovated the place, because they, you know, obviously over the years they renovate, we kept them because they're really useful for having a hotel where you don't want the guests to see anyone working. And I'm like I've been told, like, you know, carting my gear around, that I'm not allowed to use like the public elevator because it like disrupts like the whatever. I've gotten that treatment before, but like wait staff and like, you know, housekeeping and stuff, they live with that shit. And there's I'm saying there's literally a fucking hotel out there where they got like the fucking like underground railroad entrances through the house. And they're like, they're still fucking using them. So fuck rich people, but I want a golf cart and a mansion that I can just scoot around on.
Absolutely.
I promise my house will be a fucking brand new place. None of that fucking bullshit. Fuck you, rich fucking. I bet Jeff Bezos has that shit.
Oh, my, absolutely fucking does. Salty, there was a question here that just has the letter A. So if that was a mistake and you actually wanted to submit a question, go ahead and resubmit it, but you only. 2 questions from Floofderp, and these are our final 2. Would you pronounce it Philadelphia? I don't know I don't know what the fuck he's saying. It's 11. I'm gonna post in chat so somebody can fucking make sense of what the fuck Floof was talking about.
Philadelphia? No.
Philadelphia?
No one, I don't fucking know what he's saying. Listen, I'm from Philly, dude. Okay, I say John all the fucking time, dude.
John,
John, dude. That's man. I say it all the time. I ain't never heard no motherfucker call it no Philadelphia, dog. You're fucking tripping.
There's actually one of my homies in my Discord now. He's actually from my previous community. Have you ever heard of the band Coheed and Cambria?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what the dragonfly on my arm is for. Oh, you can't see. Wrong camera. This one. So that's the dragonfly is like the symbol for that band. And before I was on Twitch and before I was in a PC gaming community, I was a part of an online forum that was just for the band Coheed and Cambria. And that's how we met. And he's from Philly. So I've stayed in downtown Philly a few times for visiting him and for visiting somebody else. And I love Philly. If I'm going back down there, where are you telling me to go to get an authentic cheesesteak?
Oh, fuck. Okay, so there's this place, Ishkabibbles. They're on South Street, and they're definitely one of the more like tourist friendly joints.
Okay,
but like if you're going for the experience of buying a Philly cheeseburger, they nail it. And they also do an amazing chicken cheeseburger or chicken cheesesteak, which I didn't think was possible. It's fucking delicious, but like they make really good food, but they also have that like, I went to Philly and got a cheesesteak because I'm a fucking idiot. I'm
okay being that guy, to be honest. I'm okay being touristy.
It's a great vibe, dude. Like you got to experience the city through the lens the city wants you to view it through sometimes. And cheesesteaks are a part of our, like, I'm from Philly. I don't fucking eat cheesesteaks.
You don't?
I'm like, whatever, dude. Actually, I take that back. There's a bodega around the corner from me. It's run by like Asian folks that don't speak English, which makes it real interesting when you go to order something. But like they make the best cheesesteak I've ever had. So I take it back. Fuck Ishkabibbles. Come to my house. I'll walk you down to the corner store. I'll get you a $5 cheesesteak that'll blow your fucking dick off.
All right. Ice Orb, who lives nowhere near you, said John's roast pork. I am pretty sure
John's roast pork is really good.
You guys can judge me. Sometimes I like to go down a Barstool food review YouTube rabbit hole of just watching him review food.
One bite, them's the rules. They say I look and sound like that motherfucker. I fucking hate it.
I don't peg you for that at all. Not at all.
Thank you. I deeply appreciate that.
I think he went there and then he placed an order like an hour in advance and he went there and then it still wasn't enough. So we had to leave and then come back. It was pretty funny. But okay, I will copy and paste those. I definitely would like to come back to Philly sometime soon because I've always had a blast.
I mean, so Detroit's one of the places that I haven't been in America. And I've been to like a lot of cities. Not tooting my fucking horn. I had to travel for work. It sucked.
I've been around.
Yeah, I had to drive 12 hours to get to Chicago, to Illinois, to sit in a fucking casino for a week. Not a fun drive, not a fun job. I got a stomach bug. It was shit, but I had not been to Detroit. And I'm a big fan of Detroit. I think it's very much the north, the middle north of or the Great Lakes version of Philadelphia.
Yeah,
and that it's a poor as shit city that has a fucking beautifully vibrant culture.
Yes.
That is like totally about like the city.
Yep.
Because like you go to New York, they got no fucking culture. It's just fucking everyone hates each other and moves
chaos. It's just
fucking chaos.
Yeah.
Same thing with like LA. But yeah, no, Detroit's like fuck Philadelphia, dude. I'd rather go to Detroit and get shot at. Like at least in Detroit, when I get shot at, I can shoot back without the cops fucking shooting me.
Exactly. Yeah, they know
show
what's up. Detroit's pretty awesome. I would probably be quite ashamed if I laid out all the times that I've actually like been downtown and experienced events down. Like I've been in Detroit a lot, been down there hundreds and hundreds of times over my life. But as far as like going out and experiencing the city and all it has to offer, I've been pretty shit at that. But that's just because like I'm a homebody for the most part. Like my life is lived within these walls, like with my girlfriend and my family and my content and gaming like that. That's where I live. But I'll tell you what, the fucking electronic festival that happens down there every year is like one of the best things that you can go to. Fantastic food. Coney Islands from Detroit are absolutely amazing. The food here, the culture here. I mean, we have black, white, Polish, Asian, Chaldean, Arabic, Lebanese, Yemen. We have so many different pockets of culture, which means we get a lot of fucking amazing people and amazing food like all around. And it is amazing to be able to experience that because I know people that live in like Tennessee or Wisconsin that just experience one type of person, one type of culture their entire lives. And I can say that I'm extremely fortunate to live in a place that is so diverse, with the pros and the cons.
It's a big thing that has been part of my life is like living in a city and having access to all these different cultures and like interesting like architecture and food and different styles of stuff. Like it has really made me a more well-rounded person than I thought I was, because I was working with my dad and we were shooting ads for Planet Fitness, and we had to go to a Planet Fitness in Canada, and it was like, like right over the border from New York. Like I forget what, like Toronto. I don't fucking know. I can't remember. But like we basically went to like a city in Canada that was like, it was like stuck in the 90s. It was like they had like a Starbucks, and that was like the most hip or like cultured thing they had.
Whoa.
And like we went to like a mall, and they had like the Planet Fitness we were shooting was, or one of them was in a mall. And in the mall, like, how like when you go to a mall in America, like there's like kiosks with people like trying to sell you watches and shit.
Yeah.
This mall had just like a massive bin, like really shallow, like a 6-inch tall like plexiglass bin that was like up on like a stand, and it was like 20 feet long, and it was just full of shit with price tags on it. And I'm talking like CD players, like really old, like useless shit. And I'm like, this place is like, it's like stuck in a time capsule and has like no like really clear, like well-defined cultural influences. Like it's just like, here's your Cracker Barrel, here's your Starbucks, here's your Planet Fitness.
TJ Maxx.
Yeah, and when I've the one time I got to really travel abroad was to Sweden, and that was for work too. So I barely got any time to like, hang out in the city and like check it out. But the folks we were with were all from all over the place, like Poland, England, America, Australia, like Tokyo, like all kinds of places. And I was talking to one of the guys from Poland, and he was like, yeah, one time I went to like New York or LA or something, and I got to the customs place, and it was like the cop was like an asshole. Like he just assumed I was like a criminal coming in to do harm, even though I'm just like a lanky Polish guy coming to like take pictures of like the Big Apple. I'm like on vacation. And we talked about it for a while, and I think what we realized is that most Americans, like you say, like they live in like rural areas, or they live in areas where like you're born in Detroit and you die in Detroit. Like they don't travel, and it's because like we have all these issues with healthcare being expensive and wages being low, and like so we can't afford to like travel the world. But in Europe, Germany, France, England, Paris, like they're like you could literally drive to Russia. You know what I mean? And it's like they get to experience all these different cultures and like mindsets, and they have socialized healthcare, so they like have like they can like break a leg without it ruining their entire life. Like so like there's like this element of like understanding and tolerance and peacefulness and happiness that comes from having like life experience that you can't get in America unless you like own a car and can afford to take work off and like travel to like go to California for a weekend, or like hit up some steakhouses in Texas. Like unless you get to experience that, like if you don't live in a place that has it all condensed into one area, you're missing out on so much of what America has to offer, and it's like criminal.
That is what fucking drives me. Like that is what, like I asked my parents because me and my girlfriend are thinking about moving in, I would say within the next 3 to 5 years, we plan on moving, and it's probably going to be Colorado at this point, I think is what we've landed on. And like when I talk to my mom, and I'm like, Mom, are you going to stay in Michigan your entire life? Are you really only going to live in one space or in one place? And they're like, they seem to be kind of okay with it. Like they entertain the thought in their mind, but as far as like actually making a decision to like go, it's like, well, we got friends here, we got family. And it's like, I cannot think about staying here my entire life. The entire fucking world. We're not even talking about the universe. We're talking about our one little speck of a fucking shit planet. And you're going to stay in one place. But I think it's just it's like the same question. Like I remember when I was talking to my mom about Twitch, I hid Twitch from my parents for 5 years. They had no idea, and it was like this huge time sink. They had absolutely no idea. And I'm like, Mom, like I'm a workaholic. I love hobbies. I love being productive. I'm like, what do you love to do? And she's like, well, sometimes I come home and I read magazines. I'm like, oh, what? What do you do for fun? And it's on different levels.
No, I realized recently that like I spend a lot of my time doing stuff, like whether it's like being entertained by like, you know, social media or YouTube or something, or like watching Netflix or taking images or building audio cables or playing games. Like I am so engrossed in doing something all the time that like there's like an element of human connection that I fucking miss. And it's like part of it's the pandemic, part of it's just like me and my wife. It's like sometimes we feel like we live in two separate bubbles in the same house.
Yeah.
And I totally understand the like mentality of like I just come home and do nothing, but at the same time, like, you know, I'm in like my early mid 30s. I'm going through the existential crisis phase of my life where like I think about dying all the time, which is like scary.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like if I don't distract myself, I start thinking about like all the like bills, and I'm gonna have a kid soon, and it's like that's a huge fucking responsibility. And I'm like, I gotta keep my mind off of things. And I think mostly it's going stir crazy from the pandemic.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
But like I could not imagine knowing that the Grand Canyon exists, that Seattle exists, that like, you know, that Niagara Falls exists, cheesesteaks. Like as much as I hate Florida, Key West is incredible. Like there's all these places that are accessible to me to a certain extent that like I couldn't imagine just being content with not going to or not living near or having the chance to experience in some way. Because like America is one of the few countries on earth where we have everything. We've got like Arctic winter weather, we've got deserts, we've got forests, we've got all sorts of this crazy shit. And it's all 3,000 miles away from from everything else. And like, it sucks that it's all spread out so far, but because of that, it's like you can get in a plane and you can go to the other side of the country and have a completely different experience. And thanks to the pandemic, don't fly. It's a bad idea. You will get COVID and die. I'm not a doctor, but fucking be smart. It is really cheap to just get a plane ticket and go somewhere right now. And if you can take time off work this summer, if you get vaccinated, go somewhere, dude. Just take the money you would spend for Christmas. Fuck your family. Fuck gifts. Go to the Grand Canyon for a weekend and just look at it. I hiked in the Grand Canyon, like down to Plateau Point and back. We did like a round trip, 9.5 hours. I have never been more physically exhausted in my fucking life. But I will never forget looking into the Grand Canyon after I had walked 5 hours and thinking, if I make one wrong move, I'm going to fall down this 1,000-foot cliff and die. But it was so incredible. And I'm like, it's not an experience that's out of reach. Like maybe now when you're 20 or something and you're like working a 9-to-5 job you hate, like, yeah, it's probably not affordable. But start planning now. Like, start putting money in your savings, because when you turn like 45 and you're like, I want to see shit, you could be loaded and have the money to go and do the things because you saved your money. And I'm telling you, like, I'm a completely different person because I got to see, like, my wife and we went to Las Vegas to get married. And it was like, you know, we spent like 4 days there. And it was like, it was life-changing for both of us because like I'd been to Vegas before for work. I've been like in and out of a hotel. This time, like, we walked the strip and it was fucking wild. Like, there's strippers handing out their business cards. It's fucking great. She got to see like Red Rock Canyon, which is like one of the cool spots in Nevada.
Yeah.
And it was like super dope. And like my goal, have a kid, save a bunch of money. And then when we're like 45, 50 years old, we're gone, dude. We're going to sell everything, buy an RV, and yeet. Like, once that kid is old enough to deal with his own shit, yeet. And I haven't really talked to my wife about this so much, so it's probably find out about it for the first time. But like, I'm just saying, it's like, it's one of those things where you got to do it. You got to go. You got to go.
Also, I think regardless, I mean, it's better if you'd like to party. New Orleans was probably one of my absolute favorite places to be around. I'm just like, the vibe. Not only did we hang out on Bourbon Street, we also did we did a swamp tour, we did a ghost tour, we did a couple of like activities and stuff. And New Orleans was just like, people say that New York is alive. New Orleans is alive. Like they are alive in culture, and it is such a fucking cool place to visit. And I'm sad because like when my girlfriend moved in, we were both financially like kind of fucked, and we're slowly getting ourselves out of that. And then of course, like by the time we wanted to travel a lot, COVID hit, and so we're really looking to, once this is done, to spend some time going places because it's so fucking important. And I'm really excited to when we can travel again.
Yeah, this, because we're having a kid, I had to start taking money really seriously.
Right.
And like start planning for like, I'm not just planning for my retirement, I'm planning for like college and stuff for our kid. And it was kind of eye-opening how much money I was just like not using for like something useful. And like I got a credit card last year, and I'm debt adverse. Like I'm very much like don't rack up debt, so I keep a credit card just to have a credit score basically. Mm-hmm. But like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, like just because you don't have the money now doesn't mean that like in 5 or 10 years you won't. And it's like, it's so much easier to travel when you have a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
it's so much easier because you can just afford to pay for hotels and stuff. And like I have lived most of my life in terms of traveling for work. So like I've seen the inside and outside of hotels and cities, and never seen the cities themselves. And it's the worst way to travel. Like,
oh yeah,
and I'm still really fortunate that I've gotten to see like San Francisco and like the Monument Valley in Utah and stuff. Like I'm very, very fortunate, and I hope to be able to share that experience with like my entire family. That I'm like in the future, like I hope it's something I can give my kids and my wife and myself. But like, it definitely sucks when you're like working really hard and you're trying to save money, and it's like it just goes in one pocket and out the other, and you're like, but I could have fucking paid for like a Disney vacation with that.
Yeah. Oh god. It's when you're just working just to exist, it is definitely the most gut-wrenching thing, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the one upside is because everyone's working from home right now, you're not spending money on gas. Get rid of your car for a few months. I mean, shit, dude, you could save a lot of money right now. If you're blessed to have work, by the way.
Yeah, that too. I've been fortunate enough to put a bunch of money towards bills like within the past year, just because of negligence and fear. I had racked up about $6,000 worth of dental work that had needed to get done in the past like year and a half, and it's all done now. But I had to take a good portion of that and put it on a credit card. And I'm like, now that my student loans got put on pause, I put all my money towards this other credit with this insane interest rate, and I'm gonna come on the outside of the on the outside of the pandemic with like less debt. And it was like, I know it was super fucking hard for everybody, but for me personally, the pandemic was such a nice breather because there was no traveling, there was no gas money. A lot of bills were put on hold, and it allowed me to reallocate funds to things that have been weighing on me for years and years and years. And I'm just like, I'm sort of kind of thankful for it because it was just it gave me a chance.
So I know this is it's definitely probably, hopefully anyway, this is the most controversial thing I will have said tonight. So when I look back in 10 years, I don't lose a job over this. But like the pandemic has been a horrific, tragic, mortifying event for the world to live through. But I think it's, particularly in America, it's opened people's eyes to things like universal basic income and socialized medicine and how valuable and important those things are to have. Mm-hmm. And I think despite the pain and misery that the pandemic has caused, it has kickstarted a sea change in the way Americans think about dealing with this stuff. Like Tina, my wife, like, her maternity leave isn't paid, and she's a teacher, and she's going to be on maternity leave in the summer when she's not working anyway. And it's like, dude, like the reason the maternity leave is unpaid to have maternity leave, you got to have an insurance adjuster, and the insurance adjuster comes up with a plan, and then they got to navigate all the laws and regulations associated with insurance, and then the insurance company's got there's like this whole chain of like people that have jobs dedicated to just filling out paperwork for shit like this. And it's like the reason socialized medicine is so great is because they just said, fuck that entire chain, just give it to everyone, and then we don't have to pay an insurance company billions of dollars a year to like employ people to push paper around. And instead of doing that job, they could work in administration and in hospitals and doctors' offices. Like, and it's like, it's going to take a long time to get over this, the pandemic and our healthcare system. But I think the pandemic has like finally made people realize like, hey, maybe if people didn't have to die because they don't have enough money to pay for their medical bills, life would be better for everyone. Yeah. And it's like the dental stuff gets me because I had a cavity that turned into a fractured tooth, like a fractured wisdom tooth, and it exposed the nerve, and it was incredibly painful. So I didn't have insurance at the time. So I went to like a student dental program in the city because our colleges have like really good medical programs and really good student programs that are overseen by like professors that are doctors. And I was like, I can't live like this. Like, I need to get it taken out. And they wouldn't do it. They were like, the earliest we could do is 2 days from now. And I'm like, I can't live that long. Like, this pain is excruciating. And so I ended up going to my wife's doctor, and we weren't married at the time. And she had health insurance through her job. And the dentist's office, I sat down in the chair. A dude came in with an iPad and was like, so your bill today will be $750. And I was like, whatever, just get it out.
Yeah, right, please.
Dennis came in, stuck me 6 times with lidocaine shots, took a spatula, like a little tiny metal spatula. 30 seconds, I was in and out of that procedure. They charged me $750 fucking dollars to literally extract a busted tooth.
Oh my God.
If I didn't have a stable job, I would have not been able to pay rent that month, and I would have been in trouble. Like, so I was, when it comes, it's, and dentistry gets me because it's not covered by most insurance plans. And so I feel your pain to like an extreme extent because you should have absolutely no medical debt whatsoever. Teeth are essential. And even if you don't have health insurance, how the fuck are you going to eat without teeth, my dude? So it should be covered. It should be free. All healthcare should be free. So I feel you.
Oh man, struck a nerve with that one.
Got him.
Yeah. Well, dude, we're about at the 2.5 hour mark, so I think that is a good place to cut it there. Tonight was the perfect way for me to debut what I'm trying to do here on Twitch. So thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to entertain some conversation, to shoot the shit.
Of course. I'm happy.
It was awesome to have you on here, dude.
Listen, it was a privilege and an honor because like I've lived my career on social media and YouTube and Twitch as a background player. Like I'm an editor, so I'm like not the face of anything, and it's like a privilege to be able to like share what I have to say, which is still fucking valuable. God damn it, without having to be a fucking goddamn celebrity,
right?
So I
or
appreciate
limited
the opportunity
to 240 characters.
Yeah, right.
Well, hey, do me a favor. Take this opportunity to kind of shout yourself out, go over your social media platforms. If there's anything that you have that's coming up, anything you want to shout out, sell out, now's the chance.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So now it's my showtime. No, follow me on Twitter. It's at TechnicalDIY. I want to be Technically Alex, but some asshole's sitting on it. He won't give it to me. Technical DIY on Twitter. Follow me there because I announce literally everything I do from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep on Twitter. It's useful information most of the time, useful links, and I stream on YouTube from Monday night to Thursday night. Obviously, I'm not doing it tonight because I'm here. We play games. It's a fun time. You come hang out. As far as what I'm actually doing, I'm working on creating more content about videos, video production, like with OBS and webcams and stuff. I'm working on starting up that whole, like, the cool photographer vlogger thing. Not Casey Neistat, but talking about doing photography and showing pictures of that sort of thing you're interested in. Follow me on Twitter. You'll find links to all my YouTube content there. And Wear a mask and get vaccinated, you fucking assholes.
Yeah, I'm just about to sign up for my spot in line within
Bro,
the next couple
stick me
days.
in both arms at the same time. I fucking juice me up.
All right, dude. So I am going to continue on with the stream, hanging out with people. I bid you adieu again. Thank you so much for coming on here and
That's my pleasure, dude.
helping me, debut the new format. I would love to have you back. And if there's ever a time where you're like, yo, I want to shoot this shit on Crocs and Hot Pockets, feel free to just like shoot me a message and see if we can find a time to do so.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. All right, man. Thanks for playing, and catch you next time.
Bye.
Goodbye. Thank you very much for checking out this episode of the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast. If you would like to catch the show live, it airs on Twitch on my channel at twitch.tv/knackers at 9 p.m. every single Sunday. If you would like to check out the most recent episode of the podcast, you can probably click this little box here. And if you feel like checking out some of our highlights, you can maybe click this little box down here. And maybe I'll even put a little thing for you to click right here. No? Bye.